members of the same sex. So that's why coyotes are the way that's why they survive so well, honestly, probably, maybe.
I tried real hard to follow the leaps of logic there, and I just couldn't. There's a lot going on. You made a lot of assumptions about the way that twinks operate, and I just don't.
That's why there are so many in San Francisco. Why else would there be coyotes fucking all over San Francisco?
Oh my God.
Everywhere.
He's right. Twinks are scrappy and adaptive. They do what they need to survive.
Well, I think the bees they're swarming now. Okay, I think they might be leaving.
Are they leaving as a swarm?
To carry you
That's
away.
great news. I know you're really worried that they would just die off. If they move on into swarm, that's great news.
They were all clustered 1 second, and like 3 seconds ago, they all just started flying everywhere.
Yeah.
The whole backyard is humming. I'm like, okay, guys.
That's really good news.
Please find a new home.
Well, yeah, it's good news if they move on.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Fingers crossed, hopefully they are able to find somewhere new that isn't in the way and dangerous or whatever.
It'd be really funny if during the session at some point Jaeger just gets carried off and everyone's screaming into the distance. Not even stung, just like ascended.
Anyway.
Abducted by bees.
Beducted. Beducted. There's got to be a better way to do this.
Be snatched.
Taken, snatched, absconded, absconded. I don't. We'll workshop this one.
Abuscade.
Abby alert. I don't know.
I like where you're going with the Amber Alert thing.
Yeah,
like
Abby
there's
alert.
something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a little nugget of a word pun going on there. Anyway, hello, welcome to Wildfolk episode. Well, I don't know. I was going to call this one... Okay. We'll call this 69.9. That way you guys also get a little piece of episode 69.
Thank fuck. They stole it from us.
They stole it
fucking
from right
stole it.
under your grasp.
So now we're in 69.5 territory.
You guys are in episode 69.5. All the latest jazz hits and classics in the Milwaukee area. 69.5 does kind of sound like radio station. I don't know, radio bands go
Welcome
down
to
that low?
WDFK 69.5, the Wildfolk. We're gonna play you smooth instrumental jazz.
Queens of the Stone Age already made this joke in like one of the most famous albums of all time.
The tone shift there was so good. You slid that down like it was a perfect gradient. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What's that?
Legit. I think they've all just flown away before my eyes.
Yeah. That's great news.
I
They're
witnessed
off to
it.
better places.
Please. Please. I don't need to keep hurting you.
Don't understand.
So he had bees in his backyard that he had to get rid of, and he was worried that they would all just die out. But it sounds like they're all swarming off to find a new home together, which is like the best case scenario.
He did not communicate this at all like a human.
Well, you just
I didn't
can't
want
speak
to.
the language, yeah.
I took soul damage the last 3 days.
The only thing I heard was my dad asked me if I had a girlfriend yet, and I sent him pictures of me fisting bees.
Yeah, we get just a lot of us from prior.
And I did not understand the context. And I was like, I don't know if I had to be supportive or I had to send him condolences or
A little above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Anyway,
when Jaeger chimed in with a gasp and just said, "The bees are leaving." I was like, I'm not sure how to respond.
He's trapped in his house. There are 4 million bees trying to get inside. He hasn't eaten
Is that
in
what's-
3 days because he can't leave the house.
The bees.
Anyway, hello audience. Speaking of people who have no context for any of this stuff,
Jaeger is safe. Jaeger is fine.
Jaeger is safe and
The bees
well.
are leaving.
As safe
I'm
as
doing
he
some
is.
tiny touching bees.
Today is going to be a very, very short session. We almost called it off. We're down Foster, and there are 2 or 3 of us that are either preparing to travel and need to pack, or deathly ill and shouldn't be playing 4 hours of D&D.
No, I will
know
actually
for the
die
first
if I don't play D&D, though.
Right.
For the
So we
first
were-
time, I'm like the only one here who's like, all right. I
Right.
always have some like weird thing going on with my body, but now I'm like completely fine, which means that like everyone else took it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
one
we
of us
almost-
is expecting right now.
It's me. Although I've learned to play through pain. If you guys think pain stops me, you don't know me at all. Can I get? If there's no way to say that without sounding edgy, right? Anyway, chronic pain.
Can I get real with you guys for a moment? I've been dealing with pain all my life.
Yeah.
That's my secret.
Thanks. Thank you for doing it for me, so I didn't have to do it.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
Did I get all the bullet points?
Yeah, you got most of it. Anyway, we almost called it off, but first said that he would find my family and kill them if we didn't play at least a little D&D today. And Branch had a couple of roleplay things he wanted to do as you guys travel to the lighthouse. So we're going to play for like an hour, maybe less, just to do like a little bit of D&D so that we can wet our whistles, and then we'll have the real session next week.
Maybe
You
a little
make me
longer.
sound so
You know what?
aggressive. I have an actual doctor's note saying I will die if I don't play D&D.
Yeah,
No, I
he does
don't
have a
think that's
weekly prescription for D&D.
Anyway, when we left off, you guys had essentially just kind of come down from the big fight where you took over the ship. You managed to do it in a way that other ships really probably didn't see. There was a fireball, which may have been caught by some people, but the weather's been kind of gray, kind of misty, and when you pull off of the trade route and start heading deeper into deep-sea territory over toward the lighthouse, nobody seems to follow you except for your own ship behind you with the prisoners, which once again can only follow you out a short while. If they go into the deep sea and any sort of inclement weather happens, they will capsize and die. So at some point soon, you need to figure out what you're doing. You have to stop and let the
get
prisoners
these people in.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did like a little bit of a montage for how some of this travel is going to go, but I know that there were things we didn't get to, and that's essentially what we're going to do today. So let's start with those prisoners, since I already brought it up. What's the plan? Are you just at what point do you stop and bring them on? Do you explain anything to the crew? What do you do? Somebody tell me how this goes.
I don't know.
I think we can simply tell them like
Yeah.
they're going to be taking us all the way to Liteon. Is that the plan?
That is the plan, yeah.
Yeah. Then we're just saying we're going to be transferring these dangerous criminals to Liteon. That's actually why we want this ship as pirates, and like you know, it's a whole thing.
Look, I guess like getting like hey, don't yeah, Branch and Ethan probably like hold some like, hey, don't be alarmed, but we're about to have some extra guests soon. Hopefully with like Amy around too.
Yeah, she'll be around if you ever need her, but she will give you guys space until she is needed or called upon.
And if anyone here is an expert in handling bodies, that might help actually.
Like the other ones?
No. Unconscious. Don't want any damage.
So let's not call them bodies because that implies they're dead.
Goofy move. Yeah.
They're kind of like bodies. They're not
They're, like,
reacting to
yeah,
stimuli.
incapacitating
They're fully
and stuff like that.
unconscious.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess we just wait. Like we make that announcement and just wait for our other ship to come by.
You guys are able to kind of stop not too far offshore, maybe an hour or so, just far enough away that nobody's really going to be able to see what's happening. And this small little fishing vessel kind of pulls up to your side, dwarfed by the, majestic billowing sails of your three-master. And they call up and ask, what should we do?
Probably like spend some time like preparing the ship so that it's easier to fucking board for them to board with the prisoners and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
gangplanks and boarding planks that you're able to set up. It's a bit steep. You probably have to use the ribbed ones instead of the flat ones. But everybody here is I guess the guards aren't really sailors, so it's a little tricky for them. But you guys have staff that's good at this.
Just bring them aboard.
I've roleplayed as a sailor for a very long time.
True.
Yeah. Ethan, you know shit about ships, so you Kaz, right? Yeah, I just bring them aboard. I think we'll be fine handling them from there.
All right.
I'll have to defer to Kaz for this because I am not a real sailor, but I know a lot about boats. I know a lot about sailing.
I've pretended to be a competent sailor for a long time.
Fake it till you make it.
You own a ship. What?
Yeah, it's been pretending the entire time.
You are able to bring all of these prisoners aboard. Notably, there is not a brig here, so you have the knights and the wizards kind of tied up, gagged, blindfolded, all the full 9 yards in one of the rooms, which is being watched over by Johari. You now have 10 more unconscious bodies. What do you do with them?
Are they also? Is there
Cargo.
room in that room for them?
Can we just put them with Foster?
Or
Down
we
in
could
the
just
cargo
put them with
hold?
Foster
In the
Yeah.
cargo hold.
You could absolutely just toss them in the cargo hold. There's so much room, and Foster, I presume, would be willing to get
And
out
watch
and
them.
watch them. Okay.
Yeah.
Theoretically, they should just remain unconscious the whole time, but I didn't know if you wanted to put precautions on them.
I don't know what precautions to put on them. Like, hey, don't wake up. Like, could they possibly break free from this? Whatever is keeping them.
To the best of Branch's
Unconscious?
knowledge, no. It's not like you can just, like, make a will save and wake up or something. Once you fail it, you're in it until it comes off of you. The main concern, and Branch would know this too, just because of his background, is somebody else coming along and taking them off for some reason.
Yeah, and then we're just gonna have like Foster watch over them, right? And we could like put some guards.
Got it. Delightful.
Don't know who to guard. I'm protecting. I'm guarding the prisoners, kinda. I'm continuing the countering their prayers thing just the entire time.
Love that, yeah.
Seething with rage.
I assume you take a break to kind of like check in when the prisoners show up and when the crew shows up, the guards that you know. And they do kind of, when they arrive, they look up like a little nervous at first until they see that you guys are in charge and presumably did win the fight. And one of them, the one that kind of negotiated your payment back in Unyo, it's like, so how did it go?
Just kind of eye to the rest of the crew, who seem to be like bending at our will, and it's like, pretty well, all things considered, honestly.
Was there any doubt that I would take control?
Well, I suppose there shouldn't have been. I take it wasn't too hard?
No, they were weak.
It's great to hear. It's a shame they're so far away from us. We might be able to put an end to all their, I've heard the rumors of warmongering. Part of me kind of itches for a fight, but I doubt that they would step into the deserts to give us that opportunity.
We don't want that, but we're trying to figure out this warmongering thing. Bad for business.
I suppose. Bad for business. I've heard it's good for business in Wexisas. But
Sure,
not
when
so
you
good for,
when you deal with that.
Right. Not so good for our industries.
Not
Hopefully it
great
doesn't come
for
to that.
for the exporting shit.
Right. Although we have been shipping out a lot of healing reagents lately. Can't complain there.
That's good.
I'm no economist. I don't know how much we make versus the, tourism from selling healing potions. It's probably not that close.
How much do we make from tourism? This is out of character.
You could give me a society check. You could.
I'm going to give you a economics lore.
Yeah,
which is esoteric.
I was gonna say esoteric lore can cover anything.
This is the best skill in the entire game.
Yeah, I mean it's the same as bardic lore, right? You can use it for basically anything.
Yeah, just at a -2 because like normally lore is like -2 DC, but this is -2 less, so it's just about the same.
To say that you have approximate knowledge of many things is kind of underselling it. You have great knowledge of many things. And in your
Not
great
just
knowledge,
that, I have in my great knowledge. I'm also gonna tell you to give me more knowledge because of another. I know more than like most experts.
excellent. You would know that there is a lot of money to be made gathering and selling reagents here for certain, but it pales in comparison to what the state makes, and when I say the state, I mean the ruling class makes from tourism. Because every dime that an adventuring party makes when they come here and they hunt down Sunbird's Onion or Moonflower or any of these things that are used to make healing necromantic reagents, the state takes a cut of all of that in the form of taxes. And then a lot of their income just comes from tourism, people visiting, people spending luxurious amounts of money to have these like expensive necromantic treatments done right here where the reagents are fresh and cheaper. So it really, even in times of war or like Cold War, the amount of money that they make selling reagents pales in comparison to the amount of money they make by just having a booming trade industry.
It's Las Vegas.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it's Las Vegas if Las Vegas was also mixed with like traveling overseas to get a cheap surgery done because you can get it for a tenth of the
Yeah.
price.
That makes sense.
Yeah, a little above.
Branch, heal yourself. Be full health now.
Are we do that? Okay.
Yeah, you guys have had a couple days to get things done. And
I also healed people mostly to full health.
true. And then they ask if you. So we will just head back to Unyo unless you have another task for us.
Well, you did great. Thank you.
I need to pull up my notes. I can't remember if you promised to pay them or already paid them, or we're literally just calling in a favor because of
Oh,
me.
your notes said that they would be paid by the Magi.
That is correct. Okay, wonderful.
So literally, like, yeah, I'm just giving them an excuse to get paid more,
Then, wonderful.
and that's why they were so eager to do it. Like, yeah, okay, if we do extra, we'll get paid a lot more.
You do see there's also kind of like a little bit of a nervousness on some of the younger crew who clearly probably have never been on a boat before in their entire lives and certainly have never been deep at sea before. And they've probably been told, like, our ship is not handled for this. If a storm picks up, we abandon. Like, this is dangerous waters for us. And so they are very, like, eager to get going as soon as the last of the prisoners have been handed off.
I give them the last little pep talk, like, "Hey, you did very well. Thank you so much for your service. You may now leave and be safe. I don't expect you to follow us deep into the water.
Yes, sir.
Everything went smoothly."
They give you the salute, and they immediately start turning around and heading off back towards Unyo. And that just leaves you guys, the crew of the ship, 10 prisoners from Famador, who are on death row, and the prisoners that you took here, the 3 knights, the 2 mages. And it was mentioned at the end of last session, presumably still in their rooms, Drizak the Red and his squire, who have not come out at any point since the fight or during the fight. I know there was a little bit more that you guys wanted to do as you were heading towards the lighthouse. What you got, Branch? I know you mentioned a couple things, too.
Does anyone else want to do things first?
I'm just for the prisoners. If there's anything else you want to do.
Sure. I think first I just want to talk to Amy for a bit, actually. Maybe like wait till like later in the day or whatever. Suss out like the vibe of the crew and see like, if everyone's still like afraid of me and shit like that. But yeah.
Ruka has been doing a lot of this. He mentioned it during the montage at the end of last session. The vibe is they are beginning to understand that they're not in danger. They now fully accept, like, okay, these people aren't here to hurt us. But they are only, like, the impression that they get is as long as they cooperate, they're not in danger. So there's, like, that subliminal kind of undercurrent of, oh, we better play along or this could get real ugly. But right now, it's not ugly. It's not ugly yet.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Branch will just grab another fucking, probably like Unyo wine or something that he bought, and head to Amy's room again and be like, yo, I know I'm probably one of the last people you want to see right now, but we've got some important matters to discuss.
Give me a perception check as you enter her office. Delightful. She kind of sees you come in, and there's like it's not even a scared look. It's just like, okay, business time, put on the face look. And she kind of straightens up her posture, and she says, yes, come in.
You know, you're taking this pretty well, you and your crew.
Well, we were warned ahead of time that if we cooperate, we will be okay. And we are not paid to not cooperate, so...
But you are paid, and I look at her drawer and be like, I trust one of my companions gave you quite the sum for transporting us and our new cargo.
No, actually, you told us a story about being Cyril pilgrims, and so we waived the fee.
Yeah, gotcha. And I like nod at her with a wink and stuff like that. All right. Well then, I planned out of character. I planned all this shit out in my head for like a week, and now it's gone. It's like all gone.
Oh my god, story of my life. I feel that so much.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. It
But
happens so much.
yeah, no, it's okay. I can get it back. I can get it back.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
Just breathe. Deep breaths. Deep breaths.
Oh, whatever. Good. All right. Well, uh, let's talk above board for a bit. Be completely honest. We're not on the same side right now, okay?
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah. And anything that happens in this room, will be to my benefit. And if it just so happens to also help you, you don't even need to bring that part up.
My
when it becomes
continued
relevant.
survival is important to me and that of my crew as well.
All right. So let me just tell you right now, I'm about to hand you the biggest payout you've ever had in your life, from the Sierra Leone government, of course.
She kind of cocks her head. She's listening.
You know anything about Lush?
The god.
Yeah, not really popular in Sierra Leone, but their influence teachings sounds a bit more sounds a bit reductive for what he is. Have fucking made their way over to like to other countries, probably to yours.
I've heard the name. I know it has something to do with workers uniting against their employers. I've heard it's kind of a rebellious... It's an upstart. He's an ascendant god, isn't he?
Yeah, more recent than others.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard much. I just know that he helps workers, apparently.
Well, good. That fucker's not going to help you at all. I am though. And Branch brings out his fucking Edgeosite ledger real quick.
As you're pulling the papers out, she does say, "Are we not the hands of those we serve?"
I'd like to think that their hands serve us more.
Right.
Yeah.
She kind of like motions to the desk for you to set down all the stuff you're getting out.
Yeah. And just brings out a bunch of like a bunch of fucking like profile ledgers essentially of like that would usually be used to like classify people that would be written in for like prisoner stuff for and like say have descriptions of like who they are and extenuating for factors. And Branch like points at the part where he'd usually write down the name and be like this part's irrelevant, and just completely crosses out the name, any like names.
Sure.
I imagine you don't need my help to. I imagine in order for me to help your crew, I don't need to know who any of them are, and in order for you to keep protecting them, I won't need to know their names anyway.
We'll give you any information you demand of us.
Yeah. So how about it? What are your, you know, anything about them? Good citizens, any community service hours, anything that makes them look good in the eyes of the Queen?
They're all citizens. I don't hire criminals, if that's what you're asking. Most of them I've been with for years and years, some decades. There are a couple of new ones that they're still here on a trial basis, but if they had acted up in the first couple of voyages, they wouldn't be back. So, they're good.
Gotcha. And he marks that down. No, I don't want to know if they're criminals. I want to know the opposite. Are they good citizens?
I guess so. They pay their taxes. They follow the law. I mean, you just want to know their hobbies, their What they do in their
No.
free time?
I just want to know how much leverage you can get from, you know, um, telling the queen that your higher protection failed to protect some, let's say, good Cyrillian people. You get me?
If I think I understand. Assuming we make it through all of this alive, I will have to report this to the queen, and I presume that in her grace she would offer us some compensation for the trouble that we've been in since her royal retinue was defeated.
That's a new word. Retinue. Nice.
Retinue.
Gotcha. All right. And she'll want information about the attackers too.
Yes, presumably. She doesn't. She stops. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at you.
Oh, I've dropped the disguise already. My companions, they're not going. I expect them to remain anonymous, but I don't mind you telling her that presumably one-armed, Aruxi, Red Skill Aruxi, came aboard your ship and, mutinized it a little.
She nods. Is the implication that you wish for me to lie and say it was only you?
No, it would be absurd to think that I could do this on my own. But I do have a scapegoat. And he pulls out a little, flash card, essentially. The closest equivalent to a fucking flash card. And with, the phrase, we are the shapers of iron on it, and a crudely drawn, Aegis symbol. And before Drake comes at me for stealing his idea, I was thinking about this for a while.
I was just about to ask if you watched that session, or if you came up to this independently, and I believe you when you say you came to it independently, and that is so juicy given what just happened a couple weeks ago in their session.
And he's like, are you afraid of us? Genuinely, are you afraid of us? The people on your ship right now. We took it over.
Yes. You dispatched 3 royal knights and 2 royal mages without a scratch. The only damage that we did was to a couple of ants, which were the biggest ants that I've ever seen in my entire life. Where did you even find those ants? How did you get those ants on my ship?
Trade secret. I'm not here for this, but I hope that's what you said.
Hundreds more.
Like I said when I walked out up aboard, you don't know how many of us there are, and you don't know how many and what we have here. All right.
Right.
For all you know, we could have been planning this before. We could have been planning this before the shipping manifestos were even written. About
You're
3 months ago, I
coaching me
guess.
right now, like you think that this isn't true. I'm not confident how many of you there are on my ship right now.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I am listening. And she kind of realizes that now is not a good time for her to be adding to this conversation, and just sits back and listens some more. You can give me an insight check. Give me a perception.
Yeah, gotcha.
She is exercising every ounce of restraint that she can muster. She is filled with fire, and she wants to be feisty. She wants to be sassy and snap back and ask questions and maybe even challenge you a little and maybe try to get to the bottom of this. And she is not doing so because she is worried about fucking things over for her crew. So she is sitting quietly and just letting all of this happen. If it was just her on this ship, you imagine that it would be a very different picture.
Good to know. I see that fire in your eyes. the captain of a ship would have some resentment as anyone would throw it away. And I'd prefer we talk openly about all this going on instead of you trying to hide what you feel.
I'm sure that you would. I will answer any questions that you have.
Come on. And he stands up for a second and is like, you want to give me your best punch?
She... You know what? Give me a diplomacy check. The thought had crossed my mind. But I think that it would get me in more trouble than it's worth.
I think you might be too used to the kind of hostile negotiations that Zerlin presents you. Listen, we have all we want right now. There's not really much you can do that anger us other than stopping what we're here for.
She, as you say, there's not much that you can do. What she actually does is she slips under the desk and forward and brings a foot up under the desk between your legs and kicks you in the nads as hard as she can.
Fuck!
Probably not going to be great, but let me see how this goes. She's got a mod. She has a mod here. Let's go. Let's go. You have so much cover. I'm going to take 2 off of that. She tries. You can tell what she was going for, but you're able to just, like, slip back before it lands.
Like, Branch probably, like, slides the chair back after she kicks it, and is like, oh, fuck. That probably would have hurt a lot if it got me.
Well,
Respect. Fucking dirty. I like it.
we're not all prim and proper over there. We know how to fight.
Gotcha. Your guys almost took me down, by the way. Everyone else was fine. But
I saw it. You nearly bled out in front of my door.
bit of satisfaction for you there, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway. He, at this point, like, Branch is like, I think we should actually get to some formalities at this point. And he extends his, like, wooden hand out as, like, to shake it. She told us our full name was Amy something.
Why not?
Oh, my name? You want to know? You want to know my name?
She already told it to
You want
us.
to know? You want to know Amy's full name? The full name of Captain
Didn't
Amy.
she already fucking tell it to us?
The full name of Amy, the captain of this ship.
This
Bill
Amy
Graham.
shipward?
Ameliana Deus.
You're Captain Emiliana. You already know this. My name is Branch. Although, if you stop by Family or anywhere recently, you would see that the authorities there is taken to calling me by my birth name, Bradley Trussell. And he takes out of one of the wanted posters that he's probably kept for a while. They've already gone.
Should I write this down? Can I write this down?
You can keep the poster if you want it. And
Perfect.
yes, you can write it down.
You mentioned that you were interested in candor, so here it is. I'm alive, and my crew is alive because you're trying to send a message. Am I right?
No, your crew's alive because we need someone to get us to where we need to be.
Are they going to die when we get there?
No. You seem
Because you
pretty
need to get back?
cooperative. We need to get back, yeah.
She smiles a little. That's fortunate. We were running a near skeleton crew. I couldn't afford the loss or injury of one single person.
you won't get, and you won't lose any as long as we're here. Okay? That settle things.
Sounds like a deal.
And you're half right about the message, but that's more a me thing than anyone else here. It's why they're not going to tell you any of their names, but I'm willing to give you mine.
Is there no unity among your ranks?
There is. That's why I'm taking the fall here. A little responsibility on one of us can let the rest of us roam free.
She kind of squints at you, and this is actually where I'm going to do this. The Leonin. He's the one that really is pulling all the strings, is that true?
He's better than me at this. I'll give him that, but I do things on my own.
I say Leonin, that's not true anymore.
Elf. Been disguised the entire
yeah,
time.
Yeah, so the quiet one, the elf, he's a dissenter. And Branch, you know, she's barking up the wrong tree, but she thinks she's pieced things together. She's figured out that you're the fall guy.
I'd imagine that a captain like yourself would be able to figure out these dynamics easily. Good job. I'm just trying to play into her what she's figured out in her head.
Sure. Let her think she's got it figured out.
Yeah.
Got it.
And even if I am the fall guy, it's a name, and it's a name that Cyril still knows. This wanted poster was put out by your ilk. There's already a bounty in my head. Maybe I'm just trying to see how high I can make it before you lot eventually catch me. Pretty good life goal on my part, honestly.
I think I get it.
Yeah.
I heard news in one of the ports passing down here along the east coast of the Hiddland that there was a big robbery a couple weeks ago. Was that you? They also were from this church.
Let me do something real quick.
Sure. I don't think Branch would know about this. I don't.
Yeah, he
unless,
probably wouldn't.
Unless the other party told you through their mental devices, which is kind of up in the air. I doubt they would, though.
Probably not. I'm just trying to think of what I'd roll for this.
It would be a society check, but you're essentially fishing for a 20 that you overhear some extremely fast traveling gossip.
It's just the weird. I don't think I'll roll. Sorry.
Totally fine. Yep.
And just say and be like, Branch pauses for a good solid few seconds and is like, yeah, if if they're fucking shapers of iron too, then yeah, they pull it off. Obviously he doesn't know, but he's trying to this weird news that there are other Edgesites perpetuating crimes like this is insane to him. Maybe. Yeah.
Shapers of iron. I see.
Not an emerging name, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Not one I'm familiar with, but now I know it very well.
I'm glad. Okay. So, what's the story you're gonna tell when you get back?
I will tell everything to the very best of my ability, because shortly after that, if they sense even a whiff of leaving out details, and perhaps even if I don't, just as a matter of course, in a case this high profile, I assume that they will search my thoughts and see for themselves.
Can't imagine that someone at your station would ever be unloyal to them, right?
I wouldn't dream of it. I live a very luxurious life.
All right. I wasn't lying earlier when I said I don't hate you. You're actually pretty nice to talk to. You run a good you run a good crew.
I'm very happy to hear that. I hope it's been enough to stay my life.
You're under no danger like that. Okay?
She not.
This chat is enlightening. I'm glad we had it.
As you start to kind of wrap things up, you see that there is a moment where she kind of starts to reach a hand out towards you and pulls it back and then speaks anyway. In light of everything I just told you, why are you doing this? What's the goal? What do you need at Luteon and the lighthouse?
Can she give me a diplomacy check?
She sure can. She's okay at it. 10. Not super great. You can see that there's like an inkling of curiosity there, but you can also just hear the words she just spoke about how they're going to search your thoughts for everything. Everything that you say right now is effectively being recorded, and she speaks with a lack of conviction that makes it sound like it would be ridiculous to tell her the truth. So almost anything you tell her, she's going to believe is sculpted.
Branch will look down at the flashcard you essentially just gave her and look back up at her and be like, just trying to get more bodies for the cause.
She nods. That's good enough for her. She doesn't think she's getting any better.
And he'll exit probably. Yeah.
All right.
And then
Or what you got? Go ahead.
no, just say what you're gonna say.
I was just about to say that, like, travel continues. You guys have, I'll pull up the map, but you guys have a ways to go before you get to the lighthouse. You guys left at this cape. You're headed to this mark. 192 miles. Did 192 divided by 48. About 4 days to get to the lighthouse from here. Maybe a little faster just because the weather is really nice, and that'll probably depend on, basically just the weather.
Ethan and Johari are still like kind of keeping watch over the prisoners, right?
Yeah, they've been down in one of those rooms basically the whole time, watching the prisoners and counter-praying. I'm sure you can find them down there.
I'll go talk to them real quick. Like, yeah. Just knock on the door and be like, "Yo, it's me."
Dummy?
All right. Yay! It's moving now. Oh, praise be, it's working.
We did it. You can see the prisoners are all just kind of like sat on some cushions in the corner, tied up, gagged and bound. Johari is just kind of sitting on a chair in the corner, reading a book and smoking something or another. Effectively,
Occasionally, I guess, like, I give them water and food every, like, day.
makes sense.
I do it carefully.
Nate. They're not giving you any trouble, just sitting there.
No.
Real. You are incredible at acting, by the way. Fucking bringing back Narathi like it was nothing.
It helps that it was a very similar personality to the guy who played the captain in my old campaign.
I'll get you. Anyway, you getting tired of this at all? You want to stretch your legs, walk around a bit? You too, Johari?
If you are asking me for a little time to speak in private, I would be happy to go somewhere else, but I don't get tired in the way that you think I do.
I'm gonna get you. What you reading?
Currently a treatise on advanced occultism and the role of blood types in hemomancy.
It's
Yeah.
fascinating shit.
It's a little dry, but yes.
Yeah, not my style. Do you? I should probably let you in on this, Ethan.
Do we say this? Do you want to move away from the prisoners?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. I didn't realize we were asking. Let's just step out of the room for a bit. I got something to tell you. Jahari can stay in Morrison for a bit, right?
If I could see the less today.
What? Um, yeah, we'll just walk away and talk somewhere private, I guess.
Easy enough. There's plenty of other empty rooms you can duck into, or even just around the corner.
Listen, I am gonna be the fall guy for this whole thing, if that's right.
The fall guy?
You know, like the guy who takes the blame.
I
right?
know, but wouldn't that put your sister in jeopardy?
No, I've got some plans on how to handle that.
Okay, Han Cholo, what's the plan?
Classy.
Never heard of Han Cholo, famous smuggler? He completed the Razan run in under 6 months.
Oh my god.
No, is this some fucking like 300 years ago shit? Whatever.
Probably 300 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I've got.
Yeah, it's this distance, especially with sailing back 300 years ago. With Peck isn't even that big of a Star Wars fan. He
I'm
gets it.
not. I'm just a pedant. If you're a Star Wars fan or a pedant, that joke kicks ass.
Sweet, yeah.
I just need her to believe that we were planning on taking the ship ever since. We were planning on taking the ship since before 3 months back when the shipping manifestos happened. And honestly, those massive fucking ants sneaking above board while fighting, I'm assuming that was Foster, unless they genuinely did have a massive ant problem that we didn't know about.
It just happened to be on our side.
It just happened to be on our side. Yeah, exactly. Would help. Just the idea that we've been planning this for a long ass time. Because, you know, the fact that we did it is still impressive, but I think we should, like, make it seem like we put a bit more thought into it than just we came aboard and started fighting and won. I guess I did.
As far as they know, we did plan this ahead.
Yeah. And that's great. So, and she kind of thinks you're like the head of the operation too, instead of us just clusterfuck throwing ideas into a paper bag and pulling them out randomly.
And that's why you're the fall guy.
Yeah, sure. Why not? No, I'm the fall guy for other reasons.
Okay, different ones.
I just think that when we're done here with Lateon and everything, and he kind of like goes a little silent, and then like takes a deep breath and like pipes up again. Listen, the reason I've been traveling with you and everyone else, it was always to just get my folks back, the people who were stuck in Lateon. I don't have a lot of reason to stick around after that, if you understand. And if Sarah Lynn thinks I'm a goddamn like nuisance to them, and they're gonna spend who knows how many resources looking for me, it's best I, fuck off, go somewhere where they can't find me. And
Is there a place they can't find you?
places where magic don't work, far away from Eden.
So you're going very far away.
Fascinating. Sorry, carry on.
That's what I'd wanted to do for a while, you know?
Like westward? Westward, maybe?
Yeah, westward of Eden.
But listen, I don't know how this is gonna work out. But even then, if I'm the fucking guy who they take all their, who if I'm still some asshole who wants to uh be the fucking if I'm gonna be the asshole who they want to track down for a while, it'll take eyes off Ruka. It'll take eyes off anyone else who wants to take them down. The fucking Spirit Weavers. Suddenly they're gonna think this organization that doesn't fucking even exist, is gonna be a number one priority to them, right? And then anyone else who wants to fuck them up can, right?
Athens quiet for a moment. I think like he dropped his disguise when they were in private, and his expression is hard to read when it's just a skull. He takes out like a little bit of powder from his pocket, and then he just draws above his eye sockets very high arch brows. As if to be like, oh?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little deception check. Just say if it beats your will DC.
Huh?
Or meets or beats.
Goddamn.
Branch's will is +6.
Okay, so it's your DC was 16. This is a crit. Yeah, he seems like genuinely surprised by this revelation, but also that he seems proud, thrilled. This is a great plan. It's like this is a genius plan. There's no way they could track you using magic. You have your bases covered.
Yeah. You're not upset about that? Just the idea of me fucking off?
There's another pause. Of course not. This is something that makes you happy. This is something you put your heart into, and to take away from that would diminish you. It would diminish what I admire about you. Your candor, your impulsiveness. Yes, it could be a little frustrating, but it's what makes you you. And when it works, it works. So many of the things that we've done would not have been done if it weren't for you. I'm going to miss my brother. But when you leave, I hope you have a happy life.
Okay, come on. I'm not done yet. Don't start.
I said
being
when.
sincere. Yeah, but like, you knew I wasn't gonna stick around forever, right? Like, yeah. And just
Sure.
consider all this shit like a parting gift to make your lives a little easier, right? Yeah. You know, it would be nice to like stick around for a while. It's just, I don't know.
Just means that the time you have with us, we'll have to cherish more. We'll have to, I don't know, go out and parties more. Make time for that.
Yeah. Just letting you know, this, from what I understand, this only helps, you know, the crowd of us that want to fucking get rid of the Cyrilans, you know, Ruko, a little bit of Tex, I guess. And I don't think I've actually really helped you with your Desolate King problem that much, right?
You have.
What? No, I haven't.
You've given me something to do after.
Like what?
I think I'm going to go after something.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really have a thought about what to do before. I just thought I'm going to kill my father, and that's the end of my story. I don't know. I'll probably die doing it.
How about
And
redoing your
now,
skin?
yeah, I'm getting used to this, but I would love to feel more.
I get it.
I miss hugs.
Feels nice, doesn't it? Ruku and I had one earlier that was pretty great. But
That's nice.
maybe I can help you find Moonstone or
Skin?
something. Skin? Yeah. I don't know. Whatever the fuck they did to Jane, they could probably do to you.
You know, if it doesn't need Moonstone, and if they can just let me feel using whatever technology they have nowadays, I wouldn't mind. I'm open.
Yeah,
I'm
that sounds
open-minded.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay. Fucking.
Is that cool? Will I be whatever she is? Would it be cool?
I
I know you have a little bit of friction with her.
No, but the idea of just being something like that is don't ever tell her this, but it is kind of cool, the whole like fake person thing and all of that. Whatever.
Yeah, I just don't want to say it. I don't want to tell her. Like she seems to struggle with it. It
Well,
would it would be terrible if something you struggle with someone thought was cool.
it's just flexes is like not their arm of it as like, yeah, I get it. But uh I can be around to help you for a little bit. Just I'm fine like not having heat on me for a while.
Gonna be hard with a lighter in your arm. He says, and he pulls Branch into just the tightest hug.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Are you sure you can't feel?
That's why I'm doing it so tight.
Why don't you just relax a little and wait?
Let me see if I can relax Bone.
Okay, then let me do it back then. And he'll hug him back at a fucking regular pressure and just wait a little and see if he does feel anything.
Oh, this is the amount you used to hug. Understood.
Does it help at all, DM?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Ethan, you can give me just like a straight. Give me a will save, I guess.
We'll see.
Yeah, higher is better. You feel this as you would normally feel this. Your sense of smell has recently become significantly improved, but your sense of touch is about the same as it always has been. Which is to say, you feel a faint, dull pressure, enough to maintain your balance, enough to know when you've bumped into a wall, enough to have even just a little bit of a basic pain response, so that you know when you are in danger. It's dull. No, it doesn't breach anything beyond just a sort of widespread dull pressure around the points where you're being touched.
And
I feel it, he says.
Okay,
I feel
that's
you.
Good. Listen, I know you just had that whole thing about saying bad things that I struggle with, but I'm afraid to die. And I feel like if I keep traveling with you guys, that's a risk that'll keep popping up, especially like last night.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And
I learned how to heal because I didn't want that to happen again. And I can't promise that nothing wrong is ever going to happen, that the cards don't fall, but the dice don't fall right, that you don't draw the wrong card. I'm getting my things right. You were so close, you know.
I hate that feeling. I felt it once before I was in Edgesite, and tonight, and I don't want to feel that powerless again. And it'd just be so nice to be away from all this shit. Okay? So don't hate
I'm
me
going-
if I do
No.
have to like leave it, okay?
It's not your fault. You're not a soldier. You're not expected to stay and fight.
Yeah, I'm just a normal goddamn person.
You're very cool, and you have to stop saying you're a normal person. You're an exceptional person.
You're just a normal man.
Just
Regular-
normal
Just
men.
regular men.
Just innocent men.
We're just innocent
It's-
men.
Not ice skaters. Those people are crazy.
No, they'll fuck you up. You see them twirl at the plate.
I just want to ask you a little question. If the worst happens, and if you were to, this is just hypothetical, lose your life, would you rather remain dead, or hypothetically, would you be willing to be risen and continue?
Okay, he'll take a deep breath and just say, I am so afraid of what an afterlife based on what I've done here has in store for me. And I'd like to do anything I can to postpone that. All right?
I understand. Know that while I am by your side, I'm going to keep you from dying and from the afterlife as much as I can.
Okay.
Until you found your own peace and, sort. You'll have time to sort that later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds fucking insane worrying about. Everyone dies. I'm like.
You're not insane for worrying about dying, especially after what happens after. Styx hates me. I don't understand why.
Styx? The like fucking
the big one, the goddess of death.
Yeah. What the fuck did you do to her?
I'm alive, I guess.
Oh, that fucking bitch. They're all assholes. The
She
fucking
doesn't like undead. She doesn't like that they come back and they get a second chance.
Yeah, of course she fucking doesn't, because she's on her high horse talking about how she's the fucking fair of the afterlife, how like great that all is, and and meanwhile she's not gonna offer you a fucking bit of pity, even though you're stopping the person who's like bringing that about,
Yeah, well, I don't know if she sees things in blacks and whites. I don't know how gods work.
Give me a religion check.
Okay. I have a religion. It is a +4, or I can give you
Esoteric
Styx
is
lore,
fine. Yeah.
which is esoteric.
Right, esoteric.
Terrible roll, but hey, it's 16.
16 esoteric. Thinking, is 16 high enough for this? I think it's high. The reason Styx doesn't like necromancy is not necessarily because you're cheating death or prolonging death. She doesn't really give a shit about that. You can live as long as you want.
You're keeping souls from going to where they belong.
It's not even necessarily that. It's that you are damaging soul. Necromancy and spirit damage are both processes that extend mortal life at the cost of permanently damaging your soul. It would be like somebody permanently chopping off a finger to get rid of a cold. She doesn't like the concept of incomplete or damaged souls being sent to the afterlife.
Then why did you invent spirit damage, Styx? Tell me this, riddle me this, Styx.
I don't know if 6 invented spirit damage. 16, I don't know if you know whether that's true or not either.
Yeah. I can deal spirit damage just anytime I want now without magic. So does that make her mad at me?
Probably a little bit, yeah.
Then I will continue to do so.
Excellent. Perfect.
Uh, yeah, the gods are dicks, and honestly, going somewhere where they can't fucking see me sounds great.
Yeah, I think Styx doesn't like me because I can damage souls. I used to be the ghost fang of Unma. It's a thing. It's a whole thing.
Oh, gotcha. Well, if it's any consolation, Edith doesn't like me because I rob people. What a petty reason not to like someone.
That's true.
Um, and
You really do have to stop invoking his name because it does deepen your bond with him whether you like it or not.
fine, yeah.
We're
So,
gonna have to find you a different god to like spawn some other rule god.
how about just none of them? How about I sever my connection to them entirely? How about I become something else when you know, I don't go to them.
Well, it depends. Would you like to be with your family or not?
Oh God, this is getting kind of existential, isn't it?
It's a thing I've questioned a lot.
Well, as it stands now, sorry to say this, but when I heard that um, the Desolate King was able to work around their rulings by pitting them against each other, I felt a bit of, you know, weird hope. The guy's an asshole. I'm on you. I'm definitely on your side. Nothing he does is good, but
Mm,
just knowing that they don't actually control us that much that we can do things here that fucks with them
yeah.
sounds great, doesn't it?
It you This is why he had so many supporters actually. Like a lot of them just didn't like not having fate in their own hands. And the fact that a mortal could just say to the gods, "Hey, fuck you. We are not under your control. We can take our own fate into our own hands, decide how we die, when we die. Maybe the death doesn't happen. Maybe you don't come into the equation." People like that. That's why some of them sided, some of them, yes, forced. But when my father was the Golden Warlock, they joined him because he was a good king.
You haven't told me a lot about that, about how you grew up and anything. You know, is there anything you want to get off your chest now? I'm curious. You, I don't think you've realized how, or I don't even think I've realized how fucking actually important you are. You are a major historical figure, and I talk to you like you're fucking living across the street from me.
I do though. Like I live like this is my cabin. Yours is right there.
Yeah, I know, but like you understand why this is weird, right?
I suppose it's just my entire life is a lie, right? It's this fake prophecy that we made up. My uncle made up. Narafi made up because we needed the propaganda. We needed the morale. People would not fight for someone who does not equal like a legend. You have to pit legend against a legend. The twins are real legends, Prophecy princes.
Oh, you mean the Brothers Edge?
Yes, the Brothers Edge. They're actual prophesied legendary heroes. I'm just a fake. The
I agree.
happiest I've been is when you taught me how to dance.
So you know how to act like a legend real well, then?
I suppose it's sort of just what I did. It was a mask, just like this elf one.
You think you could teach me how to do that at some point?
Sure.
Gotcha. Call it payment for all the dancing lessons. I if I am gonna like take the fucking persona of a uh fire starting renegade up, and might as well act like it too. And
That
you
sounds
know,
like your regular self.
what fires do I start that aren't like immediately
not
put out?
like metaphorical fires.
Yeah, I know. But it's not like fucking countrywide. It's not like steel
Yeah, yeah,
chip
yeah.
wide. Even though we've really, you know what? I did literally just do all this. Fuck.
This is good. You're living up to the persona so far.
Well, yeah, but I'm not gonna act. I'm not acting like it. I don't know how. I don't know what makes a legend. I don't know how to be a fucking chosen one or whatever. Um.
So it's all in the backstory.
Uh-huh.
It was
Right.
easy for me because my father is already like a crazy powerful necromancer. I was his only son, the only remaining heir, right? It's so easy to be like, "Oh, that's the Prince of Light. He was destined to be this father." That's a tried and true story beat, and
Boy,
everyone
wouldn't that be
loves that,
nice?
isn't it?
You wanna you wanna gather the others and like brainstorm a bit.
Brainstorm about what? I suppose. Just brainstorm for brainstorming's sake.
Of fucking like I don't know. I want to know what could like a backstory for someone like who I'm imagining would be. You know?
Well, if you base it off truth, like what my uncle did, you caused the death of a high priestess, or was it? By trying to do, by trying to save your mother.
I didn't kill her.
It indirectly caused the death, not kill.
Well, okay, fine. Yeah,
If these
yeah. I
things
guess it did
happen, it's
happen.
fine.
Yeah.
The domino, the dice fall the way the dice fall. It's just some things that we can't control.
Okay.
This could be a good basis though. Like this priest, was she important? How
Uh,
important was she?
just fucking high priest for the Church of Law. Not really. They're one of the main 13, right? Fact, the main.
Let me double check. I don't believe Edis is one of the celestial gods, but he is still a very important god. He's one of the only gods that has a strong multinational presence. Almost every one of the Inner Kingdoms has a temple to Edis, and that is because when all of the Inner Kingdoms entered their alliance during the Age of Kings, they had to draft up a bunch of laws about what this alliance actually means, and the Church of Edis was the church that oversaw that process.
Yeah, if law is important, then I guess she was important. You know.
Was she like a very prominent member of the clergy? Did she do
Yeah,
anything
very
crazy?
prominent and well loved. But I didn't fucking pay attention to that before. I mean, she wasn't even a name that fucking crossed my mind until I was told I apparently murdered her.
Oh, well, that's not murder. That's crazy. Like you've
Yeah,
been murdered.
it is. And Branch's face definitely goes dour when the subject is brought up. Like
Just
it's
puts a
definitely
hand,
something.
yeah, on the shoulder. It's like, hey, for what it's worth, I don't blame you for it.
I'm glad someone doesn't. Okay, so there's that. Um, I don't think that explains why I'm so readily available to work for them, though. Why I'm using their branding as the main fucking subject. Apparently there was another robbery by someone masquerading as the fucking Edgesites earlier. I don't know what that's
Another one?
about, but yeah,
Are they
but
stealing our brand? What's going on?
I have no idea what's happening. But like if there are other Edgesites, more power to them. They're doing what I'm doing here. Um, yeah. So what else? Like,
Yeah, we could call you something like the Desecrator.
ugh. That sounds like a
Because,
fucking.
well, yeah, you take the things that are sacred and you desecrate. You ruin it. You speak falsehoods in the names of other gods, and you spread problems among them because they fucked your family up. You need to have a sympathetic reason, because then people buy into it more. And then when people buy into it, your enemies will hate you for it.
All right,
And they'll try to smear that name.
smear the smearer essentially.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because we're making up a fake story.
I guess, yeah. Desecrator. I don't know. That sounds like the fucking
We'll
name
workshop
of
that.
of a villain from a middling erotic novel.
Yeah, do you want the blasphemer, the heretic?
Oh, that. Those are actually pretty good. Huh.
Yeah.
What was yours again?
I had many.
Oh,
But the Ghost Fang of Unma was one of them. The Subreza was the other.
Superesa. The Superesa.
Yeah, Subreza is the it's my father's name backwards.
Oh.
I'm the anti-Acerus.
That's fun. Okay. Gotcha. Hey. And the fucking the heretic, the one who speaks fucking falsehoods of other gods, it's all pretty good so far.
We could workshop it with that. I'm sure there are many other crazy nicknames we could give you that'll stick.
Well, I guess we'll keep thinking. Either way, you comfortable with everything we did here and all that? I also just want to say, I don't want any of this to fall on you or Ruko or Kaz or Foster.
Understand. I mean, I was disguised the entire time, so.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one who took off mine.
That part worried me, but I trust you.
It was part of the plan. Whatever. So
It's not. You had so many plans.
I'm fucking thinking at a mile a minute here. Come on. That's why.
No, that's good. That's having many plans. One of them is eventually going to work.
One of them's if I keep throwing shit if I keep drawing from this like paper hat, we'll eventually find something. All right. Thank you. Thank you for brainstorming. Thank you for taking the ship with me, and thank you for everything in general.
That's just what you're good at. You're good at coming up with many ideas, and once we pick one and settle on it, it's great. But having a starting point is always good.
Okay. Yeah.
You're back. I'm having an emergency.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'm listening though, so if you want to continue, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anyone? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, does anybody else have any scenes they want to carry out as we're traveling to the lighthouse? If not, I got one last thing, I think.
Are you telling me that we're going to just arrive at the lighthouse?
Maybe. That is the plan.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's a plethora of things Ruko has done this whole time. But also, I do want to explore that cabin where there's those two mysterious, dark, scary, giant lizard men that disappeared. And
Wonderful. That's actually what my thing was going to be about, too. Are you proactive about it? What does Ruko do?
yes, Ruko finally has some alone time. Wait, hold on, let me switch over to my computer.
Yeah. Take your time.
Kaz is also curious about where these. My mic's up. I don't know if you guys heard me. Hello?
Oh wow.
We hear you now.
What? Okay. Kaz is also curious about this, but I don't want to impose on Ruko's thing if he wants to do it alone.
I'll leave it up to you guys. We can kind of do this as a meta thing. Ruko, if you'd like to do this alone, you have dibs. You can go for it. But if not, I can set up a scene where the two of you are both present for it.
I see we should both do it.
Okay.
Excellent. Then there is a point where late at night, as everybody's kind of like hitting the realization, probably Ruko first because he was specifically checking on the crew, hitting the realization that they never came out to eat. Kaz and Ruko, as you guys are talking in the galley, just kind of enjoying some drinks late at night or whatever you're doing, you hear heavy footsteps. And you see that Drajak the Red, alone, is coming up the stairs. He goes over to the bar and grabs just like a big sack of food and sits down at a table. Not the same table you guys are sitting at, but the one like next to it. Doesn't say anything, just starts eating.
The big scary douche guy, or
Yeah, big scary. Pull you guys over to this table.
Well, that's awkward.
Yeah, kind of awkward. Doesn't say anything, just sits down, eat.
Can I like insight check him?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Yeah, I'd like
Perception.
to also roll an insight, but I immediately have a thing that I want to do.
Absolutely, hit me.
Kaz is immediately gonna kind of play back into this like fanboy persona that he's been doing, playing up around this guy for a little bit. And I'm not gonna approach him or anything, but I'll kind of like visibly perk up when he comes into the room and sits down at the bar, and I'll like raise my drink to him and be like, "Ah, the champion." Maybe not quite like that, because that is very adoring fan. But like, "Oh, I was worried about you. I thought you'd fallen overboard during the scuffle."
We're off course. Do you know why we are off course?
Oh, probably some headwinds or something. For a drunken sailor, you never really know what to do with them, do you?
Oof.
Where are the guards? I haven't seen them.
Let me give you a perception check as well.
Sure.
And I don't know if you want like a deception for what I've said so far. If
Probably
anything.
if we get to a point where it's like super critical, I'll ask for one.
Okay.
For now, he seems to just kind of buy it. With your perception checks, it's hard to get a read on. He seems to like not really know what's going on, but is clearly like a little bit aggravated. Like something's up. Why are we off course? I didn't pay for this.
I rolled an @1 on perception, so I don't really know what's going on.
I was gonna say, very hard to read.
Kaz is talking to him. I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, you know, you can't always predict where the winds will take us. That is the bitch about sea travel, eh? Always at the whims of some power greater than us. I'm sure we'll be fine. Just a couple of extra days of leisure on our trip, yes?
Do you know where the captain is? I'll ask her why we're off course.
I haven't seen her lately. I imagine she's retired to her chambers for the evening.
He takes a big hunk of bread and then some salted meat, and he stuffs it all down. Stands up, kind of wipes his hand on his chest. I will go find her.
Not even going to savor a drink or enjoy a couple of drinks to share among the company?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Can I sweeten the diplomacy by setting a few coins on the table as if to imply that I will pay for the drinks that I want him to share with us?
How many coins do you set in front of you?
2 gold.
2 gold pieces? Sure.
That's a lot of drink.
That's a lot of drink. That's like $1,000, yeah.
Here, please drink this keg.
Yeah.
He grabs the drink.
Well, I'll set the 2 gold down, and then I'll kind of split them, like one closer to myself and then one against him, as if to imply that like I plan to drink as much as him, as if a challenge.
Okay, alright. Yeah, he will grab his drink and he will kind of take a seat over here. You guys wouldn't have something to do with all of this, would you?
Haven't heard anything about it. I'm just used to these things happening sometimes. You know, you travel a lot. The schedule isn't always what it says.
He looks over to Ruko, who is still disguised as a Cyrillil high priest of some sort. And in Cyrillil says, what about you? Do you know what's going on?
Ruko, I swear to God, you better speak Cyril.
He does.
Okay, good.
Everyone in this party
We're the group
does.
that's we're the
Apparently
group that
nobody else
speaks
in the other
Cyril.
half of the party does.
Yeah, I found out like 2 weeks ago that everyone in this party speaks it, everyone in the other party doesn't speak it. And they are like in Cyrillin
Wow.
as we speak.
That's wild.
That's
'cause,
what
like,
I thought we'd at
number
least have one crossover.
Nope, not one single person in the other party speaks it.
Idiots.
So yeah, Jacques looks to you and says, "What about you? Do you know what this is all about?"
They're the same thing. Kind of him. Yeah. Same boat. Same problem.
I see.
He's playing a little bit like he's a bit tipsy. Just because he doesn't know what else to say.
Got it. Well, if I get to my destination, I suppose I'll just ask for back payment for the time wasted.
But time wasted with 2 gold worth of alcohol, huh? Basically bought the ship stock.
do you
Lucky guy.
get paid by the hour?
I get paid. Oh boy, what was your
For-
diplomacy check?
20.
20. Remind me, what does Kaz look like? I know Rugo's disguised as a serial high priest.
I don't think Kaz has not disguised himself by way of like changing his like species appearance or anything like that. He still just looks like a null. I've definitely taken off like the Votzi's brand earring, and I'm probably not wearing like my usual outfit with like the crimson colors and all that. But yeah, so just kind of
Okay.
looks like Kaz.
That passes. Let me get a diplomacy check from Rugo. Good luck.
Okay.
Also, I don't know if
yeah.
you want me to roll a separate diplomacy for this because it's a very different thing that I've asked this man
Well-
just now.
We'll let this one ride out for a second. If I need some new ones, I'll ask for it.
Well, I'm scared because this is one of my good rolls, which means it's going to be awful.
We got a 16.
That was pretty good.
I just want to note, when
No.
Kaz asked this man that, I say, "Oh, you're charging by the hour." I'm kind of running my finger in a circle around the 2 coins.
He seems not terribly interested in that way, but he does say, "No, I get paid by the job."
Okay.
The more
Wow,
time I
you should-
spend between jobs, the less I get paid. Very simple math.
You should really find some sort of career where you can work while you travel.
Oh, I do. It's just hard for me to do the work when the travel is extended for no reason.
I just
Oh,
do a big dramatic shrug when he says no reason. I'm like, yep, these things just happen.
guess you really just gotta find new and interesting ways to fill the time, huh? Ruko swiftly pats Kaz's leg under the desk, like, good luck, buddy, and he stick it up. He doesn't. This guy's kind of scary. Ruko's gonna make excuses and be like, I'm gonna go downstairs and go check out, see where the other guy is.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I know enough. I have some arcane spellcasting. How noticeable is a cantrip with the illusion and the manipulate and the concentrate property?
If it doesn't have the subtle trait, it's very noticeable. Things that you can cast subtly have the subtle trait. With that said, if you put it in your book a long time ago, the subtle trait is new in the remaster. So what's the spell?
Ghost sound?
pt2 Ghost Sound. Let's see if it got a new subtle trait. It did get the new subtle trait, so you can cast this
cool.
subtly. Yeah.
Then yeah, especially if there's a moment where Jacques is kind of looking aside, or even if I can just kind of play it off when Ruko is addressing me under the table, I'll do whatever hand sign I need to cast ghost sound.
None at all. It's totally subtle.
Cool. And I will just cast that like right outside the nearest window, just to make it sound like some real heavy wind.
Yeah, there's like the rattling of wood and the swaying of ropes and the jostling of block and tackle.
Yeah, I'm gonna especially make it sound like it's like some heavy crosswind, so it's not just like blowing in one direction. It's like we're almost like in the eye of a storm sort of thing. Like it's just kind of blowing all over the place. Like oh yeah, we can't sail in this.
Got it. I'm gonna roll just for. Yeah, he's not smart. Let's do this for the fun of it. Let's see if he can connect the dots that he's hearing a heavy storm and the boat is totally still.
Yeah,
How
Yeah,
much
good
did he
point.
drink so far?
But
You should rock the table.
I must stress, he is not smart.
Oh,
Beautiful.
damn. Okay.
Like, he
Maybe
invents
that has
things on
something
top
to
of
do
it.
with it.
This is a weird thing that I have no real reason to ask about, but I will just because it's a bonus feat that I picked because there wasn't a better one. Does that count as critically succeeding to create a diversion?
Sure, why not? I'll let it count. What do you got?
Okay. Then if it matters at all, I can choose to remain hidden until after the end of my turn.
Yeah, you see that he like looks towards the window and just like jaw drop, just kind of like stares out the window for a while, as if like he's like mentally trying to piece together that it looks fine outside and the ship is totally still, but it sounds like a storm, and like he doesn't know what to make of this, but he's
Yeah.
like, he just cocks it as like the weather is weird today.
I'm not actually going to try to like hide or disappear from
Sure,
the
sure.
site. I just wanted to point out that I
You
have
could
that as
if
a
you
key
wanted,
because TF2 is silly. But I will kind of pipe in after he says that. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what they say about in the eye of the storm? It doesn't look crazy until it does.
Do they say that?
Well, yes, the eye of the storm is where all the wind isn't, and then the wind suddenly does get to the eye of the storm, and then it picks you up and throws your ship around like a cow in a silent film, and then you die.
A s-
Those exist, right?
What's a silent film?
It's like a series of pictures that kind of play off on their own.
I see.
I need to know if we've advanced to photography and then film reel in like
magically-
Emmerich or any of the non-magical places.
Magically, for
Think-
sure. Non-magically, probably not just yet. They're getting
I
to it. There's
think
probably early
the
experiments.
closest.
Which-
I think the closest you're thinking is like a stage play with just mimes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
With that said, magical photography and even videography has been a thing for a while now, so he probably at least gets the reference. Yeah,
Okay, and Kaz is probably at least familiar enough to make that reference,
yeah, for sure.
even if he hasn't seen one himself.
Yeah.
Actually, he probably has.
I was gonna say it would
Like,
it would be the realm
I'd
of
imagine-
the wealthy and magically exposed, which kind of describes your family. So you probably
Yeah,
saw
he's-
one magical show growing up, at least.
He definitely doesn't have much experience with magic firsthand and doesn't know anything about how like a magical film is produced. But his family might have had a couple of reels and a big projector room
Yeah, certainly could be possible. Anyway,
because they just have disgusting money.
true, came from wealth. He does kind of look back to both of you. I guess it might be the weather that's got us stopped. I'll talk to the captain in the morning. Why are you up so late?
Oh, can't sleep with all this wind. I'm a real light sleeper unless I have someone with me.
Shame. How about you? Looks to go.
Jeez.
Same.
Oh, look at that. The two of you can solve each other's problem.
They back.
He's not my type.
Shame.
Never been that much into elves.
Not a fan.
I like raise my drink to Ruko in like an apologetic gesture.
Drajak gives you a weird look. He gives you like a that was offensive to him. He really thinks that
Real?
was weird. Yeah.
Is he
He's an Avon.
is he an elf sympathizer?
You can give me a perception check. You can give me like an
Is he
insight
one of them
check.
elf lovers? Sorry, he said perception.
Yeah, perception was insight in the system, but yeah, perception.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just had to
You're good.
had to do my To Kill a Mockingbird impression.
You, with a 20, are able to kind of piece together a couple of things. You've heard him speak Cyrillil. He got on a Cyrillil ship. He's Dragonborn, which is one of the, like, accepted species in Cyrillil. He's almost certainly a Cyrillil citizen. And for somebody to say, oh, I don't like elves in an elven ship to two other elves is, like, wild. That's crazy.
Kind of seeing that response, Kaz will take another sip of his drink then and just be
Your
like,
Uncle Ruckus.
he'll just be like, They're just always going to outlive me. Where's the fun in that?
Try
I'm
magic.
interested in short fleet.
Hey, but you can show them a time that they'll never forget. It lives past your age, huh? Past your years. You're like a legacy.
I don't want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a trail
I mean, if you do it hard enough.
behind me as I walk to the fridge after we. No,
Oh, like
he takes
cheese.
another sip of his
Jesus.
drink.
Well, I'm going to
Ruko's
go
been
try to
been
sleep
shuffling
again.
But yeah, Ruko's trying to shuffle away before this guy
Oh,
gets
yeah.
returning to his cabin.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll keep just trying to kind of distract him with
I was going to say,
idle, horny
I'll let
conversation.
I'll let your make a diversion thing from earlier kind of create a window where it is natural
Hell
for
yeah.
Ruko to be like, okay, I got to get up and go get something from downstairs. So let's
Yeah,
cut down there.
he-
Ruko, you find the...
Jacques is definitely doing that
Hey.
thing where he's trying to leave the bar, but I'm the girl that's just like a little too drunk and like touching on him, and he's too polite to just like shove me aside because I'm not quite drunk enough to just like throw aside without making a big scene.
Right.
Where he just keeps saying
know what I
too
mean?
many slightly concerning things to where he doesn't feel right to leave yet until he figured it out. Like, what do you mean about elves?
You know, you see, you're just such a big, strong guy, and I think you could support me a lot better than Bobby ever did. Don't even get me started on Bobby. He was a real piece of shit.
God, I wish I could cast something to make this work somehow.
Ruko, you head downstairs. You know that he was on the
Okay.
closest room to the left, and the squire was on the second room, just past it, on the left.
I'm gonna check on Squire.
Sure. You go over to the door. It's closed.
Do I hear anything?
Give me a perception check.
Dead. Mm. Okay, he's gonna go put his head against the door. He's listening. Perception.
Pretty quiet. All you really hear is the ongoing windstorm that Kaz is pretending to make outside.
God damn it. Okay,
Everyone can hear the windstorm?
Yeah, remind me about this guy because he seemed very unhappy last time I saw him.
Yeah.
He seemed very distraught or just condoned to his position.
That's kind of the vibe that you've gotten. You've not interacted with him a ton, but every time when he's with Drajak, he's just carrying all of his stuff, doing squire duties. When he's on his own, he's just real sullen, real quiet. You've seen him like smoking up on the dock a couple of times. Just kind of like minding his own business with sort of a grumpy air about him.
Okay. By the way, for the record, just to kind of rehash my appearance as we come in here, my mental impression was that I was like I had the drip. I had the serial
Yes.
high class priest, but also a bit tattered, like I'm a missionary type or an agent that's not the usual sort, like a cat folk of some kind.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and you
but
rolled very well to make this costume. It's very convincing.
yeah, and also I've got my skills that make the impression of being the religious type very convincing, and I speak Cyril, so everything else checks out. I look scrappy, I look like an agent, but you know,
Right.
I'm not often in Cyrillian territory. I'm doing missions type. Okay. So, dark for the back. See, kind of look. I'm gonna just knock on the door.
You knock on the door. Eventually you hear some creaking of wood. And the door opens. You see Croc in night clothes kind of looks through the door. Yeah?
Does he look drunk?
He doesn't, give me a perception check.
Okay, gonna assess his state.
He looks a little sleepy. He may have been like almost asleep as you woke him up. You don't smell alcohol. He doesn't have any like extreme dilation going on. He just looks sleepy.
Did he come to dinner earlier? Get any food earlier?
You haven't seen either
Okay.
one of them all day.
All right. Urko would have showed up with like a little bowl of something from the bar. He took an extra piece and a drink. Like, hey, have time to chat? Sorry to wake you.
He looks down at the food and then back up to you. Yeah,
You didn't eat?
I take it this is about why we're not moving. Or at least why we're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah, kind of shitty, right? Oh, you still gotta eat, man.
Sure, thanks.
Cool, shuffle in.
So what's this all about?
What, food or?
Well, no, the ship going off course. I assume you know what it is. I haven't been out of the room, but I heard that there was like some...
Yeah.
I think there was a fireball. I heard some stuff.
Well, you heard it, but big guy didn't know.
He's a heavy sleeper, and I think he didn't want to get involved.
And he's more dense in more places than one. Huh? He knocks his head. No disrespect. A man can sleep.
He looks like he's obligated to not show any response to that comment.
It's okay. Ruko kind of like mutes his amusement, but he like smiles, he nods. He's like, yeah, man can sleep.
Was it you guys?
Anyway. Ruko's eyes will sharpen a bit. He'll scan him over. Just, is this an undertone of, was it you guys hostility? Or was it you guys, I don't know, like, malleable, I suppose, is kind of a look.
So I got a visual perception check from you. Let me now get another perception check for your insight. And we'll kind of play this out over the
Okay.
course of the conversation.
God damn it.
I believe in you.
Right, hero point.
Go ahead, yeah.
I've been rolling hot garbage.
I was going to say,
except
I think
for
you've
one
rolled 3 dice and 2 of them have been natural ones.
roll.
Okay, that's a little better.
Oh
14.
man, that's...
The honest impression that you're getting is that he's trying to figure out what's going on and nothing really makes sense. So it's kind of like an honest curiosity.
Alright, in this brief moment, Ruko's doing a little deep dive. He's checking clothing, peripheral vision of any personal belongings, just kind of get a context for this guy. Does he grow up in Cyrilo? Is he trapped here? Is this a social construct that Ruko has any sort of whiff of? Like, what's the situation with this guy? Like, can he break the mold kind of deal? Like, how much do I open up? Do I stay fake? I don't know. I'm trying to get some more feels about his possessions, his person, his societal construct that he must uphold. He seems very unhappy in whatever it is.
Got it. Using your kind of middling insight and your good visual perception, I'm going to feed a little bit of information to you. He dresses and he behaves as if he was from Avarice, the feudal kind of dragon land, where it would be typical for a knight and a squire to kind of travel together, for him to do his duties as he was learning to become a knight himself. That implies
Is that not common in Cyrilo? They don't have knights.
It's less common. They have kind of evolved from this very like split houses feudal society into more of a modern monarchy, where everybody is more directly reporting to the queen, as she has been able to more directly influence the lives of her complete territory instead of having to divvy it out to various lords and nobles beneath her. There are still houses and feudal structures, but it's not like, oh, this plot of land is entirely yours, you run it entirely on your own with no oversight and just pay us taxes every month. Everybody kind of works on the common law of the queenship now. And as a result, there are still knights, but it would be weird for a dragon to be a knight from Cyrillin. Almost all of them are just going to be Eld. And you are able to spot with your 23, one of the books he's reading is like an introduction to high society that is written in Cyrilo. And you start to piece things together, almost certainly, based on his dress, his mannerisms, his attire. He is originally from Avarice, but is starting to spend a lot of time in Cyrillin and is still kind of adjusting to that. And you can make of that whatever you like, but he seems like he spends time in Cyrillin, but is not from Cyrillin.
Right, he's doing his level best to try to adapt.
Right.
Okay. And this guy looks like his dad, right?
He sure looks like it. On a 23, they have a lot of very similar facial features. The scale color is the same. It hasn't been like explicitly confirmed, but it would be very unusual if they're not related somehow. Younger brother, dad, something along those lines. Nephew.
All right, all right. Yeah. And so he just, sorry, that was a diversion, but he was just asking me what's going on, right?
Yeah, he essentially asked, do you guys have something to do with this? Was it you fighting up there?
Ruko will kind of just take a deep breath, but he'll get into a more just casual sitting position. He's thinking, and what if it was?
I mean, I guess that's fine. I understand that sometimes the right hand and the left hand don't know what the other is doing, but I've never seen one priest kill mages. Did you kill them?
Wait, did we?
No, you know that everybody was taken alive and is actually in the room right next door held as prisoners.
Ruko will, he'll shake his head no, and he's like, no, no, nobody was actually killed. And he'll knock, knock on the wall. Safe and sound. Sleeping, probably.
So,
But yes, yeah. Hey, look. Don't know why. Feel like just leveling with you. Any questions? I'll tell you. How is us?
does Drajak know what's going on? He wouldn't tell me anything except that he wanted to stay out of it, so I assumed it was part of his work.
Or perhaps maybe he's a little. He knocks his head again, as in wordless, dense. But he says sleepy.
He squints a little bit. Maybe.
It's just like Ruko's expression is like looking at him like kind of a little teasing, which might be weird for him, but he's doing that careful like I'm poking at you. Like,
Right. He seems very like shelled off, like he's not sure how to interpret this. The vibe that you get with your ongoing insight check is like he might not be super fond of him, but he's also not necessarily fond of people talking shit about him, so he doesn't really know how to take this.
And Ruko is very carefully dancing around it. Like he's a big dude. He's a big obvious guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so just he's hinting at the fact that, unspoken, we've all, we all kind of been around the guy.
Absolutely. Give me a diplomacy check, actually.
Okay.
I'm realizing an angle
If anything, he can sense that Ruko is not just trying to trash him. He's just, he's teasing a little bit. He's playing a little bit carefully. Let's see, diplomacy. Can I keep him? Can I keep this dragon boy? Deep down, that's what it comes down to. So I want to keep this guy.
He's broken. I need to fix him.
Oh my god. Ruko.
Oh boy.
Hero point.
It is after 10, so you have your second hero point.
Thank God. All right. Wait, we start with 3. I used 1.
You start with 1 and you get a second one after 10.
Oh.
Yep.
Start. Okay. Well, I usually don't use them. Okay. Fuck.
It's a good thing you're getting these out of the way now.
Really? Out of the way? Do they ever go away?
Fair point. On a 13. Yeah, I mean, I get it. He has to be pointed in the right direction. So, what? Does he work for you? Are you his boss or something?
The big guy? Let me just throw these out here because fuck. I'm only stupid thing that I don't want. Anyway. Is he talking about the big guy? The big white dragon guy?
Yeah.
If I'm his boss?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose as a matter of the course of the ship temporarily, and the fate, directions, whatever. For the moment, yeah, I suppose.
All right. So if you're his boss, then you're my boss. What are we doing? Should I do something? Should I just sit here? I'm used to being kind of left in the dark, but Normally, he at least warns me when we're on a job.
Well, the course has taken things a different direction. Up ahead management, a brief diversion. However, I don't know. I suppose it means that there's a choice here. Point being, you have two avenues. You can just continue comfortably as, your course you've chosen. Keep reading, you'll nod toward the stand, and I genuinely don't know if he actually realized what was going on yet, which is concerning.
No, he seems as confused as I am, which is why I'm asking some questions. We're trying to figure out if we're in danger, if the job has changed, if you guys don't know who we are, if he doesn't know who you are.
Well, it does make me curious who you are, but the point being is that now we've been blown a bit off course. And maybe perhaps for the last time, there is a small optional flame of light where you can go and grab the information that you need just on your own choice. You could leave this and do what you know is right on your own terms once we're at our destination. Or continue.
What's our destination, and what's the right thing that I should do? I'm
Well,
not sure I understand.
I'm saying that you are on a ship set course on a predictable path. We've now and will be traveling on a route that takes us to a diverted path for a short time.
Where to?
And there's opportunity to the, what's the cardinal direction?
You guys are heading east, kind of northeast, to the Alaudalir Lighthouse, and then after that to the prison island Luteon.
We're diverting off northeast to the waters deeper and more unknown, but unsupervised. And then they're going right back to the course you started on.
Okay.
Like nothing happened.
Alright, I think I get it. So this is some sort of a secret mission. You had to commandeer the ship. I assume you've worked things out with the guard here, or they can't know, which makes me wonder, if you had to make it a show for them, why haven't you tied us up?
Honestly, because you haven't been any sort of problem or hostile, and I don't care if it's weird. I don't know. You seem nice. Cool.
Got it. Okay. So as
I don't
long
know.
as we
I'd feel bad if I were to, just cause you some problems. Not like I want to. Honestly, you could probably choke me out in 3 seconds. I'll be real. But, yeah.
I wouldn't dream of we won't cause any problems. We'll behave for however long this diversion takes, and I'll try to explain it to him so that he doesn't do anything silly.
I don't know if he'll really... I don't know. I was just chatting with him upstairs, and he wouldn't take that kindly, would he?
Being
He doesn't seem like the one that's like, you explain something and he, it seems kind of tough.
kind of, but if it's coming from his boss, he gets it. That's where the money comes from. He doesn't want to cause problems. He'll probably grumble and complain for weeks and weeks about how he wishes somebody would have told him about this so he could have gotten on a different ship. But as long as this is official, unofficial business, he's very familiar with that kind of work.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I'll leave that to you. But for now, I don't know. Who are you? Really?
I was about to ask what your name is. Mine is Karaka.
Hmm. What is my name? Oh no.
What a mood.
Kuro.
Uh,
It's like
it,
Ruko.
What I know, he wouldn't recognize that. He's from Avarice, being indoctrinated. I don't think he would have heard of lowly old, not famous Ruko. As long as I don't say my last name.
You're actually being searched for by Ramus.
Yeah, but Remus is some weird wolf dude that's not supposed to be there, and he's kind of scary, kind of CIA sketchy. I don't know. He's dark ops. He's
True,
weird.
it's true. It's a special case.
He's a weird guy. He might have like a big visual impression, but nobody really knows the guy because he's a
I
freak.
just want to point out that Feck said that we'd only be playing for like an hour or so, probably, and it's been like 2, so I think we should all level up.
Yeah, I was muted. I was
I agree.
muted, and I was protesting.
Hi.
He's looking at you after he asked for your name.
Right. Ruko, missionary.
Ruko. Huh. Funny name. Where are you
Is
from?
that your position or
Yeah.
your position? Sorry, I'll shut up.
Yeah. Where am I from? Let's see. Eastern side, Sirlin, kind of borderlands. I can't really work much in the city. Look at me. Anyway, but take missions off into the far lands. Good contracts, for the record. Hazard pay. More knives and hidden corners than you'd want. But life is exciting.
I know how that goes. The pay is good. Okay, Ruko. Thanks for, I guess, filling us in. I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Hey, I don't know. Ruko like glances at the food he brought in, like this attempt at hospitality and whatnot. He's like, "Are you doing okay?"
I was a little hungry and confused about whether we should step in and try to do something or if everything was under control, but it sounds like everything is under control.
Yeah, that's work stuff. I don't know. I don't see you out there much. I don't know. You don't seem like a bad guy. Like,
No. We do good work, but part of our work is not being seen very much, so I just stay in my room.
Forever?
Not forever, but while we're on a job.
You ever not on a job?
You do see that there's kind of like a look of introspection where he realizes that he has been on a job for most of his life. Sometimes, but I guess not often.
Hey, look. I kind of, I don't know. I think part of the reason why I'm here is just because I wanted to talk, because I sense there's something similar, at least. Your story and mine. My dad and I trained up to be his best in his image and everything, and we lived up to the expectations and whatnot, but at some point I got a taste for freedom and I realized that things were more vibrant than I could have expected. It was the world. And decisions, and I'd shut myself in for so long that I kind of felt like I've lost something in the process. And I don't know.
This is a wellness check.
No.
You're trying to make sure
Honestly, I wanted to talk to you because I felt like I got problems here. So, like, yeah.
Give me one more diplomacy check.
You don't gotta tell me anything. I'm not wellness checking. But I felt something there.
You say you don't gotta tell me anything, and you see that he He's very quiet. He's so reserved. He's a person, barely an adult, late teen, who has spent his whole life being seen and not heard. And he starts to raise a hand and almost says something, and he kind of controls himself and says, "No, it's all right. I appreciate it. I'm okay, but it does get a little boring, I guess. Freedom? What do you mean you found freedom?"
Well, we had our assigned jobs and our roles, and at one point we had to diverge to do different missions to achieve the same goal. And on the path, I realized I had been missing a second half of myself, but I realized that there was so much of this reserve in me where I could just decide, and things were quicker. And I felt this kind of like a liberating feeling, like I could just quick make decisions, forge the path, get the mission done, make some coin, experience new things along the way, and realize that I was enjoying myself probably several months in. And then I realized, why not? Why have I not been? I don't know. The reason I decided that maybe I'd chat with you is because, one, who the hell understands this? And two, maybe you do, I don't know. You've been quiet. I like the quiet types. Reserved, controlled, noble. But there's a lot going on. Underneath the surface, spoken, unspoken, thought, unthought. It seemed like a quiet space. Felt like the need to talk.
I am glad you did. This is, a little weird for me. I wasn't really expecting anything like this, but if what you're saying is that you can tell I'm not cut out to be a bounty hunter and I should do something else, then maybe I like that idea, and I will think about it. Are you going to tell Jajak all of this?
No. He wouldn't listen to me. But, well, he would if I was managerial about it. If I commanded. But he's just following orders past that point.
I don't want to give the impression that he does a bad job. He's raised me very well. He's taught me the work. I could do the work.
I agree. And I think if you choose to be a bounty hunter, that's what you will be. And you'll probably be very good at it. I don't doubt you. I just want you to know that I feel like I was in a similar position. And there is now a chance upon us now. Our ship has diverted course, and suddenly, it's an option.
You start to see that he's finally starting to make sense of some of the things you've been hinting at, the bush that you've been beating around. Right. And it's a lot for him to unpack from a stranger in a weird situation where the ship has clearly been diverted and possibly commandeered. But he's at least listening. This is a...
weird thread out of the normal that's like, is that an opportunity? What the fuck?
Right. And he looks up and says, I have 2 questions, if that's okay. What do you do now that's so free? What is it exactly that you do?
Well, anything we set our minds to. You choose a direction and you go.
What are you doing right now on the ship?
You add just a very mild sort of like a literary-esque hint to his word choice here, like sailing the high seas, diverted off course by a powerful storm. You'll nod to the windows of the sounds. And where the wind blows us might be an island far in the middle of the ocean. Adventure, exploration, control. order over our own domains, our own decisions, our own path. Doing what we know is right, making coin, meeting new people, new experiences.
Is your name Blemish?
And
Were
he
you
said
born
I
in
was
Blumenthal?
from the Eastern Territories.
Yeah, over towards Blumenthal.
He's looking at him, not hostile, but a little bit searching, but open. Was there hostility?
Give me. Let's see. What was your insight? Give me a fresh insight.
Okie doke. Don't fuck me. What?
You start to read two different trains of thought that are racing inside of this boy's head. The first is clearly this stranger is trying to discourage me from continuing the path that my life is set on to become apparently a bounty hunter. And the second train is this guy looks like a Tabaxi, claims to be from the border of Blimidil, and has a Blemish name. You're not sure if he recognizes specifically your name, but he at least understands that this is a little weird. But both of these trains are racing from a perspective of not like, I need to report this, but he's trying to make sense of why you would be encouraging him. Why somebody that he is viewed as like weird or an outlander or maybe even dangerous is being so nice to him. He's so, the predominant expression on his face is confused curiosity. It's not like you're in danger or he's sizing you up or about to sound an alarm. He just doesn't know what to make of this. He's thinking a lot because you've cut to a couple of things that are profound to him, but he doesn't know the source. He doesn't understand why you would say these things to him.
Alright. Yeah. Well, I suppose the thing is that, just like in my life, I had a clear direction. Was good at something, trained well, honorable, doing the right thing, and things were clear. But you can still do the same thing with your own decisions. You can, I don't know, part of the freedom that I felt, that I feel like is worthwhile to share, is just, how do you know you're doing the right thing when it's always being told to you if you just follow? You know, it feels better doing the right thing when you know the right thing and then you do it.
You were one of
Or
them.
if you choose the path.
You were a spirit weaver and you saw that you were wrong and joined our side. I think I get it. Am I right?
Spirit Weaver. Well.
They
Perhaps I
raised you to be a
learned that-
spirit weaver and you saw that it was wrong, so you switched teams.
Go and so tap in his little cup. That's hard. Fine.
Yeah, it's a hard question coming. He thinks that he has pieced it together, but he's got it almost backwards. He is still operating from the mindset of like, oh, this guy's clearly Blemish. He has a Blemish name. He's not Elf, but he's working for Cyril. He thinks you're a high-ranking Cyril agent, a double agent of some sort. And his assumption is you switch teams. You're now working for Cyril.
The thing that I realized was that when you work your way up the ranks and you get to take charge of more decisions, is that things don't become as clear as orders would imply. An order is simple. You train, you do your job right. One direction. But as you're tasked with many, many decisions from different perspectives, different costs, different benefits, you learn that those things begin to blur and they become so complicated that, well, maybe both sides are right and both sides are wrong in different ways.
You talk like
And
Lucian.
then, is that so?
Yeah,
And just glance up to him.
he's always talking about how we could probably make peace if we would just cooperate.
That's the thing too. Maybe he's right in some regard. Just saying. The higher up you go, the more confusing things are, the less simple they are.
It's going to get even more confusing than this. And you see for the first time there's almost like a little bit of a childlike vulnerability in his eyes when he says that.
Ruko, like, it's sort of like an amused, like good humor, just, yeah, it does. It sucks.
But you found
But,
something that makes you happy
yeah,
by questioning orders.
not necessarily. I mean, just thinking. Just, once you're able to make your own decisions, if you follow orders and decide how you follow the orders, as in, the way you swing, the way you train, the way you choose to make an attack, or the way you get better at composing yourself, those are your decisions.
I see. You found happiness by following orders, but in your own way.
Yeah. And in the process, I discovered that you can choose a way. And that's what happens when you become the manager.
You see, he does kind of like finally put up a toothy smile. Okay, I got it. All right. Okay, all right. Thanks. This actually does mean a lot. I appreciate the advice. I don't want to do the things the way that he does. Not all of them. But I think it's still good work and important work. You're saying it can be done other ways.
Certainly. Some people are better at certain things than others. Some people are smaller, bigger, more dexterous. You do your work in your own way. And I don't know. I suppose just to keep an open mind. It's the intuitiveness, the creativity, the cunning way you do your tasks. Keep being cunning. Keep an open mind. And you'll see more things. They'll get more confusing. And you'll realize you can make it stop being confusing by deciding what to do for yourself or what not to do.
Okay. Alright. I can do that. I'll try. When I'm the manager, at least.
Muko will, with a touch of sinister sort of like sly look to his eyes, like he smiles, still in good humor, but got that teasing edge back to it a little bit. There's a moment of quiet. He's like, 'cause he's getting ready to get up. However, if you've ever been very frustrated with things or you want to hurry things along, he'll pause. And he'll just glance at him one more time and he's getting up to leave. The ship has diverted course. You can start the life that
You're
you want to
suggesting that
live,
I run away.
perhaps.
With you? With your team? With your priests?
If you wish. You can forge your own path alone. Or you can be resourceful. Or
Is this
you
like
can stay
induction
here
to a
and
secret
nothing will
agent
change.
society?
Sure.
Sure. Sure is a lot. Sure is sure I can join your job, I'll be paid.
There's plenty of money to be earned. It's not like a salary,
Ah, okay.
Point being, you can stay here And you already know what's going to happen. Or you could choose your own path. We'll be there in insert days here.
About 4 days. Okay.
We'll be there in 4 days.
That's a big decision to make in 4 days, but I'll think about it.
It is.
Does the offer expire at 4 days?
Wait, so we're going to be getting back on the ship at the point?
In 4 days, you arrive at the lighthouse. You know after that, it's probably going to take more time to get to Luteon, and then when you're done at Luteon, it's going to take more time to get all the way back home.
Yeah, so then with this ship in particular, what's this ship doing?
This ship is going that whole journey. You've essentially... His trip was originally going to take like a week and a half, 2 weeks. You've added like a full extra 2 weeks to the trip.
Right. All right. So he'll capitalize on that like rushed sense that he's got right now. I'm like, actually, this diversion will take 4 entire weeks. If you don't glance at me or show me any recognition, I'll assume your decision is to stay your course. But your time's been extended.
All right.
And throughout this whole time period, everyone is watching, listening, and choosing for themselves. That doesn't exclude you. I just hope that you'll choose
Got it.
wisely.
Okay.
Peace.
Sure. Okay. So this is like a trial. I'm being judged.
Only by yourself.
Well, and
I
you.
trust that you will make a decision for yourself.
Okay.
I'll gladly welcome you, though.
All right.
You'll glance back at that untouched tankard of beer, and I'll drink that if you don't drink it.
I shouldn't while I'm working, but I appreciate you bringing it down. Actually, that's silly. You're aboard a ship. Yeah, he probably drinks it just fine. It's important. He has to stay hydrated. You can have the rest if you want.
It's fine. I left the bigger guy up there, talking to the other bigger guy.
Poor other big guy.
Referring to Kaz and the big white dragon.
Right, yeah. Okay. I'll think about what you said. I don't have an answer yet, but I'll think about it.
Yeah. You don't have to tell me if you do. You seem cool.
I seem cool.
You seem affable. Noble. He conjures up any other proper complimentary terms that he can think of.
Affable. Noble, sure, maybe. Affable? Really? Me?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'll admit, you seem a bit down up there. Focused on the task. But, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see who you were.
Got it. I'm Karaka. I don't have a surname or a title yet, but maybe one day I will, or maybe I'll run away when we get to wherever we're going in 4 days. We'll play it by ear.
Sure. And you can talk to me if you ever want.
Right.
You know where I am. Small boat.
Ruko.
Yep. No surname, no title.
Ruko, no surname, no title.
All it equal.
Got it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of awkwardly sits there.
Alright. Rick will just, swishes. He closes off the door. Alright. Stay well.
Thanks.
And you go and
You too.
trudge upstairs, leaving him with his sudden internal conflict, feeling smug about himself.
Wonderful. I know that was a bizarre reaction
I'm so
from
sorry.
him. No. That was not you. That was him being awkward. But he does actually sit there and think, we don't see it, but out of character, we linger on him for a little while, where he looks over to all the pile of books. He looks to a couple of weapons that he's got. He's got a long sword, kind of leaning against a corner. And he really does kind of like look out the window for a moment and up to the sky and then back down to all of his stuff. He's thinking. It's really hard to say what he's thinking about, even from this like little peek behind the door. But you've at least left him in the state where he is really considering something.
Yeah.
What's
I
Ruko
suppose
do?
just that, yeah. I don't know. Just from Ruko's perspective, he just sensed this very, I don't know, this guy who's just very on a course. It's certain. He's told what to do all the time. It's stable. He knows what he's supposed to do, and that's life. But it doesn't seem to feel right. He seems down. He seems just. And he clings to any sort of happiness that he can get, any sort of like completed mission, any sort of good training and whatnot, but it never clicks right.
Yeah.
Like he just seems like he's being pulled along this path, and that's the right thing to do. And Ruko lived that life. He had to be an explosive terrorist. He was trying to be that guy, and he could never fit the mold. And he could never, as much as he tried, and it eventually just. Now he's out in the broad world, and he sees somebody in the same position that he was. Even though this is a dangerous, bounty hunting, Cyrillan enemy danger guy. He does it. He knows that this is kind of like he's got to open that door. We are on an actual ship to a new world and adventure, and this might be the very last time that he ever sees that opportunity.
Absolutely.
So,
and with your insight based on that conversation, you can tell that resonated with him. You're at least very right about the idea that he has a life course set in front of him and he's not super happy about it. You can also sense he is not sure about committing to a huge change of his life over the next 4 days, but it at least resonated with him. He'll think about it, even if he doesn't commit to it in the next few days. You've struck a nerve. You've struck a nerve to this awkward kid in the way that he has been living his life. And it might take time for that seed to grow, but you have planted a seed for sure.
And perhaps one day he'll be swinging a sword about to kill someone and think maybe I'll do this different than Dad.
Certainly possible. Speaking of Dad, or what you got?
Yeah. Yeah, Ruko's gonna end up back up the stairs.
Perfect to rescue Kaz, or possibly rescue Trichak, depending on what's happening up there. Kaz, what are you doing? Oh, he might still be AFK, actually. I assume that he has been doing what he has been doing, which is essentially just trying to like stall and pseudo fanboy, pseudo flirt to just like buy some time for all that conversation to happen downstairs, and it has been happening. They've been drinking a lot. He doesn't look like drunk, but you can smell that there's beer on his breath. Oh, what took so long?
I took a roiling shite. No, I'm kidding.
God. All right, fine.
You know, bar food and waves.
He looks down at what he is eating. He's like, oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe I should sleep.
Yeah, sure.
I'll talk to the captain tomorrow and figure out how long this storm is going to take. Well, good night.
Good night.
And here he begins to stomp down the stairs back to his room.
So, Kaz, did you get that? Just kidding. I'll leave Kaz drowning in his bowl of cereal. Well, he'll go back and push his head out of the cereal bowl and then walk downstairs. Taking advantage of him being AFK.
Excellent. Does anyone else have anything that they'd like to do before we kind of like fast forward the montage to the lighthouse?
Yeah. One last thing, I think.
Yeah,
when Branch and Ethan are done talking, they go back up to the rooms, and Branch will ask Ethan, mind if I get some time with the our captives, the former guards?
Sure, you need privacy?
That would be nice, yeah.
I'll stand guard.
All right.
When when you step out, presumably Johari also steps out. As soon as the door closes behind you, Johari leans to you, Ethan, and says, do you actually want to give them privacy, or do you want me to scry?
Let them have some privacy.
Got
I
it.
suppose. I trust them.
Fair enough.
It's good to know we have our options, though.
I'm going to go smell the open air for a second, then.
Okay.
Is it safe for me to go out there like this?
He's going to go into another room where it's private. Lead her in. He's gonna take off his hat, like what's it? It's like a neckerchief on him. That is the disguise self, if I recall. Yeah, the masquerade scarf. That's the one, but a greater one. So like here, you probably know how to use this as soon as you put it on.
Yeah. She wraps around, ties it, and almost as soon as it ties, she attunes with an action. And then you see that she takes on a very lifelike appearance. Her anatomy hasn't really changed, but instead of raw skeleton and bones, it's
desiccated
kind of
muscle.
this like very kind of bluish green, almost purple scaled naga. Thanks, appreciate it. I'll be back.
Nuts.
It starts to head upstairs. Meanwhile, in the room, Branch.
They're all tied up, gagged, and stuff like that, and I'm assuming some of them are even awake.
Most of them are like trying to sleep, but there's at least one that's like stirring when they hear this exchange go on.
Gotcha. Stomp on the floor as loud as possible to try and get some attention, or try and get them awake, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of them wake up. One is like soundly sleeping, but the other four all kind of like wake up and look around towards you.
Oh, fantastic, you're up. Hey, good job out there. I have to admit, I've never gone down in a fight. They really train you up in Cyrillin, huh? Anyway, we still got the upper hand. Claro que sí, you're over here, and we've got control of the ship. God, it must feel fucking insulting, doesn't it? Any like noticeable reaction to that from any of them?
Several of them are listening, but they're kind of stoic so far. None of them are like openly reacting to it.
And he'll like point at the guy he like essentially like mutilated the tongue of, so he couldn't cast spells anymore. And be like, sorry about the tongue, by the way. If your clergy's smart, they'll get it fixed up for you. It's a lot cheaper to heal old wounds than train up a new cleric. So that you've got that to look forward to. Have to say, burning down the ship too. Just take out a few pirates. It's kind of fucking insane, huh? I respect it. Don't exactly like it. I respect it. Given some more insight into the way that you faithful think. Speaking of, that all that is like as natural as breathing to you, huh? Faith. Knowing that your God is around, knowing she's here watching over you. It'd be a fucking violation of life itself to not deny faith from the faithful. So I'll offer you this. And Branch will pull out an idol of Aeva. That he probably bought at some point to go with the Cyrillin priestess guys. And while he was talking that entire time, he was like, just tracing his feet across the floor and stuff like that, to find like any loose floorboards he could possibly open up.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Okay. Or just anywhere, yeah.
On a natural 20,
God.
you don't find anything that is deliberately like a secret compartment, but you do find that there is a board underneath one of the bunks that is loose enough that it could be pried open and then reclosed pretty easily. In
Gotcha.
other words, there's a place where you could stash something if that is your goal.
Yeah. He's just gonna casually, while still talking, like lean down and be like, "Oh, and looks like there's a place for her here already." Um, Lift up the board and gently place the idol down so that they can still see it.
So
Place the
important
floorboard back down.
important question. They're all currently blindfolded. And if you
They're
close this,
blindfolded?
they are blindfolded. They're blindfolded, gagged, fingers tied, fully bound. You guys did great work. You know they're
Yeah.
spellcasters.
The wardens aren't, though, right?
The wardens didn't use any magic. I assume you probably took precautions anyway, but if that's not the case, let
Yeah.
me know. Or you can take their blindfold off now if you want.
For the wardens, at least, he didn't. He's like, just wants at least one of them to know that, hey,
Got it.
this thing is here.
Sure. He watches you pry back the board a little bit, put the holy symbol under this board, or behind this board, rather. It's kind of like on the side of the bed. And then do you close it up or you leave it open?
I close it up for them.
Got it.
I'm like, it would be really cruel for me to deny you any of that faith you harbor so dear to you. And consider this a little consolation for at least trying to be in your good graces. I personally don't exactly make candor with the gods or believe anything. They give us anything, but I know many who do. And respectful towards that, at least to a point. But you, at this point, I think you've realized that your only grace here is Ava. That she'll come down and save whatever is left when we're done, you know? That she'll sunder this ship and somehow raft you back to shore where you can tell the world and even more about how great she was, how much she did for you. And as someone who was saved by a miracle myself, I'm not exactly opposed to the idea of saying that one Hail Mary. But I want you to realize, if she doesn't come, if there are things happening in the world that deem her interest more important there than here on this goddamn ship, or maybe you got it wrong the entire time and your worship was fake, that prayer won't save you here. I hope the idol gives some comfort. And I hope you'll think a little more about what you need to do to deserve her grace. And he'll step out of the room.
All right. He tracks you with his eyes. You can give me a...
Oh, can I? I'm gonna put the blindfold back on.
Oh, gotcha. You can give me an insight check to kind of read his expressions as this conversation is happening.
Perception. Bet. I'll hero point it.
Sure. It's very difficult to read. There is neither strong fear nor strong gratitude. It is simply kind of a intent watching. Like he's not sure what to expect, but he's watching you very closely as you do all of this. When you start to leave, he does not give you a nod of thanks, nor does he give you a look of spite. He just kind of watches as you put the blindfold back on. And he does kind of lift his chin a little as you lower it down, as if to, you know, kind of make it easier for you to put the blindfold back on. And that's it. That's all you really get.
As I'm leaving, like, Edis didn't really provide any miracles past keeping me alive. But I'm here now. Maybe that's his hand too. Just wanted to name drop just like to make sure to name drop Edis in front of all these guys.
Right.
Yeah, and then he'll just leave. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Excellent. Eventually, Ethan, you hear the door open and Branch comes out.
I'm just chilling.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Anyway, what? Did you get to catch the open air?
Eventually, Johari does come back down. Yeah, it was open. Kind of cloudy. Honestly, real foggy.
Did you hear that wind? Did the wind pick up at some point? I
Yeah.
heard the wind.
I don't know what that was about either. The ship was completely still. I thought we were in the storm for a moment, but only a complete idiot would think that if the ship wasn't moving and it was like, and you just heard when.
There's been weirder things.
Yeah.
Maybe we're in the eye of the storm.
God, I hope not. Hopefully your fucking guys made it back clear.
I cast it again, and the wind whips through the windows and says, "Fuck you."
I'm gonna go to my station now. Watch the guys upstairs, guys in storage. Make sure they don't roll over and snap their necks or anything.
All right. Yeah, you settle down and you find Foster is just kind of watching over all the bodies. They're undisturbed. Everything seems to be going normally.
Gotcha. That's all I have.
Wonderful. Anybody have anything else they'd like to do as you travel to the lighthouse?
Kaz paid for a night of very expensive and lavish and heavy drinking with this guy. I want to schmooze him just like Kaz wants to schmooze him just to prove that he can at this point.
That's fair. When so schmooze as in try to make him friendly to you, or schmooze as in try to bed him?
I mean, one than the other. It's like a success versus a critical success, right?
I will obviously let you roll to try to become friendly with him. I will tell you above the board that it is probably not possible to bet him.
Okay, but like as I do get to know this guy more, and I imagine we do just like actually get into like genuine small talk and stuff as we're sharing these drinks or whatever, just because like you have to when you're together that long at a bar. If he starts talking about like his arena stuff, Kaz, even if he's still like hiding his disgust in general for the way that this guy values human life, he tries to relate a bit. He's like, oh yeah, I've been a bullfighter, and kind of like when Drajak tells a terrible story about beating an unarmed man to death in the middle of an arena, I'm like, oh yeah, that reminds me of this time that I did this cool like pirouette over the back of a bull, and I had my rapier pressed up against its jugular, but then I spared it at the last moment.
Hell yeah.
And we celebrated by drinking and having a parade throughout the middle of the villa.
Go ahead and give me a diplomacy check. I'm going to give you a +1 for the drinks, and let's see how this goes, how he responds to all of it.
I spend $500 on booze for this man, and I got a +1 for the drink. That's fine.
It is the... It's the mention that you... Oh yeah, you do have a hero point if you'd like to spend it. We're probably wrapping up very soon. We've almost gone the full length of the session.
I mean, I rolled a 13. I'm probably...
Alright, got it. It is the bullfighting thing that kind of opens the door for a real discussion. He starts to understand, oh, you were also an arena performer. And he starts
a performer, a fighter, both. I've just never handled something so dangerous before. And I'll touch his bicep.
Oh boy. It is so painfully obvious from the look on his face that you are barking up the wrong tree when you do that. But he does...
What, is he straight or something? Like he already has a kid or something?
But at the very least, he does say, well, it's a lot more money, too. A lot more glory. I gotta say, it sounds like you were good at it, but I haven't heard your name.
Just call me Red.
That one's already taken. Do you mind changing?
Oh, by who?
By Drajak the Red. he says, and he
Oh,
flexes.
Oh, right. Well, I see. I'm not going for the red. I'm just going for red. It's kind of a mysterious sort of name.
Got it.
Not a full title or anything. You don't want to share it, though?
No, but if you want, we can fight for it.
Oh?
In the ring where I get paid.
All business for you, huh?
Mostly business. I take some pleasure in it.
Uh-huh. Can still pay him.
I feel like you're looking for more business than I am in this with pleasure. So, maybe you just stick with this name.
We can both have it.
You sure?
As long as you never set foot in my arena.
Ah, okay. Well, if I do, I will have full intent to kill you.
How old are you?
How about that? How old am I?
How old are you?
26.
I had it first.
Tenure doesn't mean shit.
No, it doesn't. You're right about that.
Well, enjoy the drink and the rest of the tab that you didn't finish tonight.
I'll finish it over the rest of the journey, I'm sure. Thanks for the drinks. It was good talking. Red.
Right.
1D
Big
or
red.
2?
I can call you Big Red like the gun.
I don't
Not
know.
a fan?
Don't know about that.
Okay.
Alright, good night.
Good night.
And then he kind of passes Ruko on the way back.
Kaz stays at the bar.
Ruko, you do eventually get up there and find Kaz and are able to talk with him if you would like about what you just did. But that's up to you.
Ruko will get to the top of the stairs and then make eye contact with Kaz. And then he tilts his head to where his glasses shine like suspicious.
Kaz is glancing between the drink in front of him and then the one in front of the empty seat across the table. And he just kind of shakes his head inside.
I have given you 2 gay chefs. What do you want from me?
Slow thumbs up.
I want to be a... No, I was going to say I want to be a homewrecker, but I don't want to...
I don't get the sense that he's married.
Is he married or just has a kid? Because I can work with one.
Great question.
Did I see a ring on that finger?
You didn't see a ring on that finger.
Okay.
Dragonborn got rings.
So he's just straight. I can't fix that.
Hard to fix that.
No.
He tried to with a lot of alcohol.
Ruko in an aura of mildly questioning the confused judgmentalism descends back the stairs. Like, good luck, buddy, but why?
Do you actually say good luck, buddy, but why? Or
No. I guess he'll catch up with Kaz a little bit, but also I'm trying to reserve a little bit of mental turmoil time for Karaka, to where I can return back down and knock on his door a little bit before he fully falls asleep.
God, I have such a fun line for this if anybody actually did talk to Kaz, but...
Yeah, Kaz is like, Rico finally emerges from the stairs because he saw the desolate end of the table, which he's never seen from Kaz before. So this is interesting. He'll reapproach. He stops doing his fake accent. He didn't really like it, or what happened? He seems like a kind of a. Ugh.
Oh, he's a terrible person, a deplorable piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not an ounce of decency in that soul. That one, no. And he kind of scoffs at the drink in front of him. He finishes his own, and then he finishes Tresok's across the table too. He's like, but I still thought that, I thought I could swoon anybody. In business or otherwise, I thought I had something here. But it's fine. I didn't really want anything out of it. It's like he looks around conspiratorially. Like leans in. And he's like, Ethan wants to kill that man face down in the dirt, stained with the blood of everybody else he spilled before him, to shame him in his own field. I want to hate fuck him and kill him in his sleep, to shame him in mine.
I kind of wanted to send him down a path of mental turmoil to where he destroys himself and becomes a new being.
Oh, that would be fun too.
But no external violence, you know. Oh gosh, I feel bad now. Wait a second. To help him realize the wrongs.
Wait, who are you talking about?
The big chunk. The
Oh,
guy.
the big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, the big guy. Wait, what? Does Ethan deserve that? What?
No, I wasn't sure if you were talking about him or the little guy that's always following him around.
Oh, I was talking to the little guy the whole time.
Oh?
Yeah, poor guy. He's good. He's just, I don't know. Oh, jeez. Hey. You ever just sit here and realize you have 6 different avenues of conversation, all of them go too deep?
Does he feel like he's locked into living a legacy that he doesn't want to, out of familial expectation? Because I don't know
You've
anything
seen
about
this
that.
Oh, thank God, because it's awful.
Truly the worst.
Yeah. If you ever experienced that, it's the worst. Squint. But
You know, I think I did catch him
yeah.
blushing a little bit when I called him Big Red.
So, does that mean something?
Sorry, what?
Does it mean something? Is it a euphemism?
Well, no, it's just I told him to call me Red, and at first he was like, no, you can't call yourself Red because I'm Red.
You seem like
And
the
then
kind of guy to call you little red or
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You think he would?
or pink puppy or something cringy.
Kaz kind of tilts his head in thought, and then he looks immediately disgusted. He's like, no, I don't want them calling me any of that.
That'll be pretty fucked up. Rico has a distraught look. Yeah, that'd be fucked up.
Listen, you two are the worst
Um,
at coming up with any flirting nicknames I've ever heard. All of these make me uncomfortable and want to retch. I just came up here for a drink and now I want to vomit.
Oh yes, drinking makes you want to vomit.
No, you two make me want to vomit.
Are you just
I
jealous
make
because
you
you want
wanna
to be
vomit.
Little Red, short guy?
No, I'm the second tallest person here.
Ruko's he's always trying to stand up straighter in this fucking party, and now he's doing it even more.
By
Yeah,
the
but-
way,
You're the second most red guy here and the second most tallest, so I'm going to start calling you Rojito.
in what fucking world am I the second most red person here? Okay, hold on. Where are you getting this from?
Okay, well, I guess you're more red than me, but I'm dressed more red.
I'm
okay.
kind of fucking deeper hue. I was born with this hue. You're fucking adapting it.
Oh, what are you saying? I'm
What? What am I saying, Pete?
I don't know where I was going with it. It was
Yes.
going to be a joke, but I didn't actually have one loaded. I've drank a lot tonight. Do you want to finish his tab?
Yeah, sure. Sounds like your flirting strategy. Anyway,
That
Ruko's
usually
very
works.
confused.
You just buy someone a profuse amount of alcohol and they have to say yes because of the implication.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
I'm not sure I'm following this line of logic yet.
For time travelers watching this 30 years in the future, that's a reference to a show.
About people you should not be anything like.
True, a show about terrible people.
Yeah,
Who always get their comeuppance.
and the joke about the implication is not about if you buy someone a bunch of drinks. It's like if you bring them on a boat first. Which is definitely not also something Kaz would do.
True.
By the way,
Josh,
I-
Kaz on a
wouldn't do
boat.
it. Kaz is it. I'm playing it up because it's fun because he's drunk, but
Yeah,
Kaz
yeah,
is
yeah.
consent is important.
Oh yeah, we've already made it very clear that you actually want to kill this guy, and you're just looking for a way to do it.
Yeah. You guys realize Ruko's looking very, very He's very attentive, but very confused with everything. The interesting character point. Ruko is really good at finding the most offensive deep digs at people and their circumstances. Like he's very intuitive about that. But when it comes to like with just sex or relationships, he's like what? Wait a minute.
Imagine.
You guys both gay?
What? Is that something he says in character?
Yeah. He was so confused he didn't know what else to ask. None of this is normal, right? This is a joke.
I'm just not realizing Ruko might not know that about most of the party.
I mean, he assumes Kaz, but also he's got this other well of depth to Kaz that he hasn't explored. So he assumes that maybe it's like a tool, like it's a mechanism. It's like a thing that he's doing to like pursue his goals or something. But
What, you think I'm just some sort of asexual gigolo?
Yeah, I don't know.
No actual emotional attachment to all the people I try to fuck and maybe kill afterward?
In
Wow.
Ruko's mind, he doesn't trust genuine attachment
Um,
toward him.
That's
so
that's
he's
a
like,
safe response.
maybe you're
though,
like,
too.
if you ask Branch that, he's just gonna be like, "The fuck's your? What fucking business of that is yours?" That's a really fucking strange question to just ask.
I don't know. I mean, there was a big guy. I don't know. He
Oh, that was Cass trying to get him.
You're doing something.
What the fuck's your problem, dude? That guy's awful.
Do you ask that too, Kat?
Yeah.
You just kind of. I just shrug and I'm like, I wanted to kill him.
I think someone really needs to separate sex and death in your mind.
No, I don't think that I need to do one before the other. I just thought it would be good,
Oh, so
an easy way to separate him from everything else and get him. You know, you're reading far too much into this. Do you think I'm a whore? Don't answer that.
No, I just didn't. I just had some crass ideas on the mating habits of gnolls for a second.
Well, you should know by now that we don't fuck everyone we meet. And take back the-
Oh, you're not gay. You're racist. Okay, no, I'm kidding.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm glad I'm not a part of this conversation.
What?
I'm glad I'm not a part of this conversation.
We go full Always Sunny.
No zero input. Like, oh, sorry, I'm asexual and aromantic. I have none of those feelings, but good for you. I can pretend.
Watch
Yeah,
when
Brent,
Ruko hits just the right xylophone tune that jingles your bones. Oh boy.
Branch is like, just fucking, raiding the back and trying to find drinks for himself while still talking and being like, fuck it, fine, I know you enough.
I imagine you get up from the bar, and if there isn't still a bartender behind, like, is there even a bartender on this?
No, they were dead a while ago.
No, he probably like hopped over the fucking like bar stool and just is just looking and raiding and shit.
Then like Branch gets up and Kaz like slaps him and pushes him back down into a stool and crawls over the bar himself, and he's like, I've got the tab worked up already. What do you want me to make you?
Are you gonna charge me for this?
Fuck no. I'm putting
Okay.
it on Red's tab.
This guy put
Gotcha.
2 gold on the counter. He's
Yeah.
crazy.
That big asshole is going to come down in the morning and he's going to order a big breakfast with some booze with it, and he's not going to get any booze, and it's going to be great for me because I couldn't kill him.
Wait, 2 gold? You gave him 2? Fuck,
No, just
before
one.
I did
One
all
is for
the
me.
adventuring shit, I would have slept with anyone for 2 gold.
Right? Like, I figured that would
What
be...
the fuck?
Who
That's
is-
a lot of fucking money, Ruko.
Well, but what the fuck? No, I mean, like, you can't.
I figured, like, even if you don't swing that way, you're not interested, like...
Yeah,
like,
literally anyone.
You're drunk
anyone.
enough that you'll at least
As
cuddle,
long as
right?
it's legal.
Cuddle me with those big, strong arms.
Ruko is sitting engaged posture, but face says distraught. What the fuck's happening?
There's so much to unpack here.
Kaz starts making cocktail.
For once, I'm so glad to not have a character in the scene, so I don't have to try to comment on this.
Fucking.
What do I
if
roll
you-
for cocktail?
Crafting, unless you have something
Yeah.
else.
Oh, crafting.
If you're
Boys, these are going to
actually,
be some beautiful drinks.
But you two have been fucking around. But we.
These are gonna be some okay drink.
No, 21's very good. 21's very good.
If you're fucking
Real quick.
wondering, Ruko, back in Famador, they don't like that shit over there. It's all over Cyril and Rule. They fucking hate it. And fucking whatever. I guess you get to know this. Fucking Papa was really, really adamant about the fact that I spend less time with one of my male friends who I hung out around a lot. Thought it would have gotten us in trouble if anything worse happened, you know?
Like hung out, and he puts his hands up, does a gesture above chest, and then he does, or like hung out, and he puts his hands lower, like wave.
Yeah, fucking. And now you're fucking like starting to see like Branch blush a little and be like, the latter, you know?
Oh.
It's nothing now. Fucking hardly the worst memory I have about Famador or even that guy anymore, but you just get told to keep your head down about shit like that for long enough, and suddenly you would get annoyed and start doing it anyway out of rebellion.
Yeah. I heard Famador used to be kind of more progressive. It was, but, Cyrillian occupation. And, yeah.
Yeah. It's alright. I think I've gotten over whatever horrible repressed surges came from living that way for a while by just fucking whoever the hell I want afterwards.
Ruko seems to understand at least that logic. That seems, it's progression, it's context progression.
I ain't know nothing about where you're from though, so like I have no idea how you treat it. What, are you homophobic, Ruko?
No.
Good to know.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I just always been confused with this stuff.
What? Papa never teach you?
I understand it with other people. Not, but like, I don't know. It's confusing.
That's why I constantly hear the rhythmic disassembling of ham sandwiches from your room at night.
It's a salami sandwich, you idiot.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Gotcha.
I'm kidding.
Well, whatever.
No. It's just I don't know what you guys are here for, because like it's weird because you've separated people from their context, from their normal situations. Now we're all adventuring, and you do things. I don't know if you're doing it to use people or if you're doing it for some other reason, ulterior motives, and blah blah blah. I don't know. It's like what's. I don't know. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was like like a tool or if it was like an actual thing that you were wanting to do with. I'm just confused. I don't know you people. Not like that. Not on that specific level.
Okay, slow down for a second. Come on. I do what I do because I like it, and I do things that I want to do out of necessity, because it'll further cement things that I want to do later that I like. And there are lines that I will and won't cross. I'm honestly not too thrilled about the idea of intimate connections that lead to fucking manipulation. That's not exactly something I've ever honestly thought about, but I have fucked around when the opportunity presented itself under some false pretenses. Mainly, being interested in the Church of Affinella. And he starts sipping his drink. Don't know what Kazi here wanted out of fucking like awful white-scaled dragonborn guy, but yeah.
Kazi.
Don't call me that.
Honestly, I think it'd be a great ring name for you. You were trying to think of some?
It beats Pink Pup.
Or Little Red. Little red Kazi. Oh my god, I think we found it.
Stop.
What? No. Yeah.
Gaia.
Okay.
Eventually, unless we have more.
I do want to slip downstairs real quick just for a last little interaction with Kuraka, but yeah, well, with this conversation, Ruko has one realization though.
Yes.
As we're all discussing this, he's like, "Oh, yeah, I think I figured out why it's confusing. I don't know. I'm an empath. You know that.
Is empath
I'm
something you
empathetic. I just kind of like know what people are feeling or wanting, and I like to play with them. You know, like I like to enjoy that with them. Make it better. Makes me feel better too, because it's fun. It's collaborative. You know. So when talking about sexy times, I mostly just feel bad for them for wanting me when there's better. I think that's why. Huh.
Okay, Ruko. There's
That's
a
weird.
fucking there's a cream puff in front of you, right? You like desserts? You like sweets?
Sure.
Yeah. There's like a really well made and well done cream puff right in front of you, and someone hands it to you and is like, "Please eat this." You'll love it, right? Are you just not gonna not eat because like somewhere out there's like a fucking sacred cream puff that'll give you an instant orgasm the moment you bite into it?
No, but if there's just any sort of perfect creation before me, I don't feel the need to eat it unless I can tell people about how good it was. Or just like to share it. Or like to have it with someone. That kind of thing. If I was in a dark dungeon and I had a perfect cake, and it was the best thing I've ever had in my life, it would no longer be the best because I'm in the dungeon, you know? Like it's like, okay.
Sometimes you gotta get through the mediocre stuff, and it makes the fucking good stuff a lot better. That's what we were
Yeah.
doing. That's what we had back in Unya when we were fucking luxury hopping for just a bit. You don't have to settle for perfect, and you don't have to expect that from everyone else either.
Well, I don't. But if there's no one to share with how bad it was, or how mediocre it was, or how good, it's just sustenance.
Who cares? I get pleasure doing stuff on my own.
And so it's weird to look at it from the lens. Like, you know, if it's like I don't know. Yeah, that's why it's confusing.
Maybe your standards are just too high.
Oh. No, no, it's not.
Well,
I feel like
Well-
I've learned something, yet I'm more confused.
whatever boats your fucking float.
Whatever boats my float.
That's how that goes, right?
You're right, yeah. He throws a peanut in Kaz's beer.
Whatever scrotes you go.
Oh my god.
Cackles
Oh.
fishes the peanut out of Cass's beer.
Yeah. Well, with a sense of enlightenment and deep inadequacy, Ruko goes down the stairs. And he's super excited to go talk to Kuraka.
Do you do this the same night? Do you go
just-
right back, or you wait for the morning?
well, yeah, I imagine this would have been probably he's in there pondering for like personally I would think that's like a good 20-minute 30-minute like
Sure. Yeah, it sounds better.
But Ruko's guessing it's near the edge of when he might have either settled down a little bit, still awake, or asleep. But he's gonna bank on him being semi-awake a little bit, and just do a little brief little, like jaunty sort of light tapping knock. Not something that would wake someone, but just like a.
If he happens to be awake, he might hear it. Got it.
Dun, 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 dun. It's almost like a playful sound, like out of nowhere on the door.
A few seconds go by, and eventually you hear the door crack open. Hi?
Oh, hey. Sorry, I didn't think you'd actually get up to open the door.
You knocked on it, so I opened it.
I was gonna speak. He goes in like conspiratorial whisper, not seriously. He's just like, I was actually just gonna say something through the door. But hey, actually, I figured with every training, the mind guides the body, and I think with mental training, there's fun games you can play, and I have a card game. I think you might enjoy. These other guys are kind of not super much of a fan of it, but hey, if you want to, either knock on my door after hours or I'll come back tomorrow. Do you want to play something?
Got
Play
it.
something?
A card game, a card training game.
Yeah, it's like a strategy one. I can explain more later. But I figured if you're ever done with your tasks and you can't quite sleep, I'm always like that. I can never fall asleep immediately, so hey, it helps me.
Got it. I will remember this. I don't know if I have it in me tonight. I was almost asleep.
Yeah, not
but-
tonight, not tonight.
Okay. I'll remember.
Yeah.
Card games are fun. I like card games.
Really?
Sure. Is that weird?
Ruko wants to ask if he has siblings or anything because he doesn't seem like that. He seems solitary. I don't know. But yeah, not tonight. But we'll sure. If you can't sleep, more than likely I can't either. It's been noisy out there. Just knock on my door. I won't mind. If I'm asleep, I'm asleep. No problem. Otherwise, tomorrow night I'll come by, knock, check. No big deal.
Okay.
But it would be fun.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Do some card games. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you everything you need to know at the time.
Is this
You don't need
another
to think
test?
about it until then. No, it's just I'm quite literally look. It's gestures to the darkness of the hallway and the outside portholes. I just can't sleep much. Helps me sleep. And it's kind of fun. And
I
it's
got
good
it.
for strategy training.
Okay.
Thinking a little bit, expand the energy, go to sleep.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, for real though. I'm leaving though. Good night.
Good night. I'll probably be asleep in 20 minutes if you... Good night.
Yeah, not coming back. Sleep well.
He closes the door and you hear kind of walk back over to his bed and hop back into bed.
Ruko kind of like awkward tail swish and walk like, ooh, yikes, I keep bugging this poor guy. But also that worked out pretty well. And then he continues his walk with the sort of like almost skip and walk. Yeah. Hard games.
Excellent. Wonderful. Eventually you are able to settle in for the night. And we will kind of do a little bit of montage. I will say, he absolutely... Yeah, what you got?
One more thing I want to do at the end of this night.
Yeah, what you...
Just to put a line out there. Before Kaz goes to bed, he goes by the room where Jajak is staying, and I slip a note under the door. And it said, "Oh no."
I assume he's writing, maybe.
Yeah, it just says,
Oh boy, excellent. All right.
and assuming we're going to do like a montage thing, Kaz isn't going to like go out of his way to approach this guy again, but the ball's in his court now.
Perfect. We do kind of montage the next couple of days. I will say, Karaka does play cards at least one of those nights. There might even be a conversation there that will play out as we go. But it's not like he, shuts you out entirely. When he's awake, he comes to find you and play some cards. When he thinks he can get a little time away from needing to be at Drzyak's beck and call. But over the next 3 or 4 days of travel, the weather continues to be mostly cooperative, although there's kind of just a cold gray mist that rolls in from the east. And by the final day, when you're set to arrive at the lighthouse, you actually, there's enough mist that there are just pulses of light that kind of intermittently like fill the whole sky and all of the mist with this brief of light, and then it goes dim for several seconds, and then another one. It almost seems to like illuminate the entire atmosphere all around you because of the way that it bounces off the mist, as ahead of you you see the light spinning from this truly enormous lighthouse on the horizon. And that, I think, is where we'll pick up, is with you guys pulling up to this lighthouse the next time we play.
We pull up.
Pull up.
Pull up.
Boy.
Oh, boy.
Not even a glance across the bar those next few days.
I'm assuming he just never talks to you again.
That's fine.
He continues
Oh,
to hang out. He
boy.
continues to drink with you. He probably has even more conversations about his time in the arena, comparing it with your time as a bullfighter. It becomes so apparent to you over the next couple of nights as he opens up just a tiny bit more and drinks a lot more, that it is work for him. He gets paid very handsomely. The idea of somebody dropping a gold on him to drink is very friendly, but this man is walking around with a ton of money. It's but also the other thing that you pick up
I'm
on
also
very
not
quickly-
willing to spend that much on him every night.
Right. The other thing that you were able to pick up on very, very quickly is, although it is a job for him, he enjoys
Does he enjoy
it
it?
immensely.
Okay, yep.
He
All
enjoys
I
it
needed to
immensely,
know.
and he enjoys it immensely for violent and sadistic reasons.
Yeah, all I needed. No, I don't even want to hate fuck him anymore. I just want to kill him.
Yep.
I do want to characterize a little card game though with Karaka.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think mostly
Karaka's
like just
been
this the Ruko isn't trying to push any sort of decision on him. Honestly, he's just playing cards to, like, I don't know, be that weird unexpected sort of like sibling sort of thing where he's a bit teasing, but also he like bolsters his confidence a little bit whenever he like does a good play. Ruko's actually playing the game. But whenever he does something unexpected or good, like, he'll be like, okay, like he'll react to it. He'll play along with it, like enjoying himself, and like show him that he is enjoying it. And,
Absolutely.
Like, actually try to play with him a little bit.
There is a little bit of an evolution over the next couple of days where the initial impression you're getting from him is, why is this person being nice to me? He
Right, like it's all a test.
can't make sense of it. He right, exactly. Is this like a test? Am I being evaluated for some sort of a secret agency thing? He seems to believe that you are like an even deeper and more mysterious part of whatever deep and mysterious bounty hunting thing that Drajak is into. And he's just treating the whole thing, even at the end of 3 days, he's treating the whole thing like, oh, this is obviously some sort of an evaluation or a test. But there is a very gradual warming up over the second or third nights where he's like, okay, maybe this person really is just trying to be friends. And that's almost even more disarming for him. He doesn't know how to handle that. But he does his best.
Right. And like on the final night too, Ruko's probably just honestly tired, but like he'll maybe he's doing pretty good in the game, and like we'll have to call a little bit early, and like he'll end on a good note, like, okay, if we get another chance to play, I'm gonna beat you next time. All right, have a good night. I'm just gonna
Good
head
night.
out. Yeah. That's it. Who knows what good will come of it, but
Who knows?
hopefully something.
Who knows indeed? We will find out. But we'll find out when we pick up next time, which I think is either 2 or 3 weeks. I forget. I put the schedule in there somewhere. I know things are weird because of travel for the next couple of weeks, but we will play as we can. It's okay. It's not your fault. What you're doing is way more important than TNT.
Is it?
Yes. Objectively.
Yes.
Yeah, it sure is.
Next episode of Wildfolk. Just a scene of Karaka
On
choking
the next
Ruko out
episode
on
of
the deck in the rain.
WDFK Wildfolk 70.0 on the FM, we're going to be joining the Avarice.
We
Blood.
finally get Foster out of that basement.
we were on 69.5. So next episode we're 70.0, right?
Oh, I see
But
what you're saying. Yeah.
I still had to stick with the radio station.
Right.
I can't just be 70.
You're right.
70.0 on the dial. 70.0.
Eastward of Eden, where the clouds meet the dirt, we left our poor mother and seeded the earth. Gates they were shuttered, the latches were locked. Oh, eastward of Eden, where men become gods. Though our people, we toiled as one, the fruits of our labors thrived under the sun. Our children they spread to outnumber the stars. So eastward of Eden, where day turns to dawn. Watered our forests with fire and flood, and fed our own egos with our brother's blood. We starved every ocean till they ate up our shores. Oh, eastward of Eden, where we always want more. Our towers they rose up and set with the sun. Our servants they burnt us with fiery tongue. We rode our wings of metal, surprised when we fell. Eastward of Eden, where heavens are hell. Leave it all, leave it all, leave it all behind. Leave it all, leave it all, leave it all behind. Leave it all, leave it all, leave it all behind. Leave it all, leave it all, leave it all Eastward of Eden, where the dust meets the dirt, we murdered our mother and strangled the earth. Forgive us, oh mama, whose face we forgot. Oh, eastward of Eden, where men become gods. Eastward of Eden, where men become